Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Essential Legends Collection versus Original Cover stream. We have an amazing panel, but I must confess I'm a cheapskate when it comes to paying for premium features. Um, I'm not about shelling out for the corporations, of course. So we have two extra guests who are in the backstage right now. Me and Greyholme will be playing a bit of Shuffle the Deck and letting two extra guests come in every now and then to give their thoughts on these covers. But we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves first. I'm Brennan, and this is my channel, and I'll pass it on to this man to my right.
Oh, hello. My name is Brady. I'm Fine Editions, and I'm really excited for Zendaya to be playing Mara Jade in the new Disney Star Wars movie. But I'm excited to talk about these new covers.
Yep. My name is Scott. I'm also excited to be talking about these covers. I am a co-host on Brady's channel, Fine Editions, the Comlink Chatter podcast, as well as a co-host on Alex's channel, who will show up later. He's in backstage now, the EU Wayback Machine.
Oh, is it me next? Okay. My name's Marcel. I'm a professional cover raider. They found me off the street and paid me to be on this stream. That's why Brennan can't afford to pay for more people on StreamYard. That's all I have to say. But I'm also similarly excited. Although I didn't think it was Zendaya that was playing Mara Jade. I thought it was like Michael B. Jordan, I heard. Was playing Mara B.
That might be it.
In the new Disney adaptation.
Hey, I'd pay good money to see that. And the money to pay for a professional cover rater was well worth the funds. Finally lending some credibility to our group of goons just trying to rate covers in a super unprofessional manner through all of these streams. So, yeah, good to lend some credibility back to this program, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
On to you, Sir Cspyder.
My name is Liam, and I like Star Wars, particularly the new ELC covers, because they're just, they're essential. Am I right? So that's all I have to say about that. And yeah.
I'm Greyholme. I've been on every single one of these except the last one, which was unfortunate. I think I'm the only person of that record. And to this date, I have not preferred a single ELC cover to the original, and I expect that I will continue to stand by that.
Yeah, you have a great track record on these streams, I will say. Actually, the first episode of this series was the first time I ever spoke to you. The first time I ever met you. So, yeah, we owe this series our friendship, I guess. So, yeah.
Didn't even realize that.
We will introduce the next guest.
And what's up? I'm the Walrus Jedi and ready to talk some covers.
Magneno Alex. Covers. Yay.
Should have done it in the C-3PO voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The covers.
Bravo.
Alex has streamed too much today. Somebody needs to cut him off. He's had a little too much StreamYard.
Let me go through the comments.
Been at it all day.
We've got Maxine in the chat. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. And
10 impression.
Oh yeah.
Danny did. Okay.
You know what? I would accept.
I would watch
now
it.
That is casting. Yeah. Sup to two Star Wars nerds. And yeah, we're that was indeed an Alex moment. Beautiful Anthony Daniels there. So we go to our slides, and let me get Greyholme back in here as we shuffle through the deck of the guests, which is a new experience, but fun for all of us, I'm sure. So this is Scoundrels is our first cover to look at. This is Wave 12, right? Wave 12, yes, that is in the title. The Wave 12 covers, these just released about a week ago. We've known about these ones for a while. They leaked probably about a year and a half ago, I'd say, for the titles.
Yeah.
We don't have any Wave 13 yet, but when Wave 13 comes, we will be back, maybe with a premium StreamYard subscription to talk about all of the covers in Wave 13. But we've got Scoundrels here, and I prefer the original cover. The new cover, I think, looks atrocious. I think it's channeling kind of some Disney-related properties, perhaps. And I just really love the look of the original cover. I think it's really cool how it's done framed like a mugshot or a lineup of criminals. I think that's super, super cool. And I really, really like that. So I'll throw it to Greyholme, and then I'll get out.
And he's gone again. Okay, I have to confess that I have never read Scoundrels.
You scoundrel.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, it is late period Zahn, and while I'm sure Brennan will go after me for this, I'm happy without reading late period Zahn, at least for now.
You're not missing much.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, the mugshot thing's pretty cool. It fits the characters, and I like them slouching. It's just a nice extra detail. Exactly the kind of thing all of them would do. Except Chewie, he just looks like Chewie. But the Disney one, why pink? I just have to ask, why pink? And why the whole nightclubby neon color scheme? It's just so weird. It's like those. It's like the 000 cover. For some reason, they're obsessed with these strange color schemes that they just use in all of these covers. I don't know why. Same for was it Outbound Flight and Survivor's Quest? There were all these random bits of pink and yellow everywhere, and it was just so random. So while this isn't AI art like the previous ones were, it looks like just a very lame cartoon poster. Yeah, I'm not a fan as always. Meh. Can't really comment on the 3 smaller characters though. 4 smaller characters. Alright, that's me about done. I don't have much to say for this one. It just looks stupid.
Walrus Jedi, you want to go next?
Sure. Well, I don't hate the new cover, but the old one is definitely better. So, yeah, that's about it I can say. I mean, most of what I would say has already been said. So, yeah.
What about you, Alex?
I'll say I think the clubby vibe kind of works for this book, considering the content within it. I don't really like the colors for it, but I don't think it's out of left field for it to exist. I will say the one thing I do appreciate is getting some actual artistic renderings. I mean, we had the bookmarks and other things that actually showed these other characters more realistically, which I preferred. But if you're going to make a new cover, it's cool to see some of the characters who are actually going to be in the book show up. Oh, yep, those are the better ones by Scott. There you go. He's got all the bookmarks right there.
Nice.
Yeah, those are way nicer. But I will say for a cover, since they're not on the cover, or maybe they're on the back, I don't know. But I forget. But it is cool to see them on the front. But overall, I just think that the original cover is so much better. And that's my ultimate thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Brady?
All right. So I feel like I've said this a lot about the other Essential Legends collection covers, but I feel like this new one is really trying to capitalize on the Han Solo movie. I know that movie came out at what, I don't know how many years ago, but the color scheme, because it kind of looks like a movie poster, and the character designs, I feel like it looks like they're trying to cash in on that, which makes sense because I mean they're trying to push, basically push people to buy books that were released more than 10 years ago. But I do really like the original cover. Aren't they going for like Ocean's 11 theme?
A little bit.
Little bit.
Yeah.
I've heard this book described as the Star Wars Ocean's 11. I've not read the book, kind of for the same reasons some of you guys haven't read it yet, because just it's laters on, and I'll probably get to it sometime. But I do prefer the older one more. Those bookmarks, I kind of want to try to find them now because those look really good. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say.
I just wanted to say to Fine Editions, I don't know if Christopher Nelson still has them up, but he has a Facebook page where he kind of is trying to sell some of his stuff.
Wait your turn, Alex. It's not your turn to speak.
I'm
Wait
sorry.
your turn.
You can't get yours from Christopher Nelson because I bought his only set,
Oh,
unfortunately.
never mind.
Is that what you were
But
holding up?
Some,
My
yes.
bad.
Some are easier to obtain than others. It's quite hard to get a full set nowadays. I think they were given out at one of the final like celebrations around the early 2010s or something.
Okay.
And I think they only gave out like one at a time, so you had to like trade for other things and connive to get a full set. It's hard to do. You can find like Chewbacca, Han Solo, Lando. Those are the more common ones on eBay. But yeah, it's one of those cool tie-ins that we got extra material showcasing the cover art, and we didn't get that too
I would
often.
love to get a full set one day. I'd love to get my Grevy paws on those bookmarks, as I'm sure all of us would love to. They're sick.
Not really. Not really.
I don't
All
own
but one.
the hardcover for Scoundrels, like the original one. But does it have any like back cover
Yes,
art?
it does.
Or
We have a
underneath?
slide later. Funny that you should.
Oh,
mention it.
okay. So it does show
Yeah.
some of the other characters. Okay.
It does indeed.
That's the thing that I like about some of the books I've got, is that on the back they'll have an extended part of the cover.
Yeah.
But the Central Legends doesn't. And I don't know. It's just kind of lazy.
It's funny, Max. Yeah. Any more thoughts on these covers? I think Marcel and Scott still need to go.
No, Scott, did you go? I think Liam still has to go.
I didn't go. I'll go real quick. So I'm a big fan of Paul Ewell, particularly his artwork for the X-Wing series. And Paul Ewell does the original cover art. It's not easy to tell because it's a completely different style, right, character profiles than you're used to with X-Wings and TIE fighters and space battles and that. But I think it works really well. I think he did an excellent job, designing and drawing each of these characters. I think Winter is a little bit leaves to be desired because she's supposed to look like Princess Leia, and she doesn't. On the back cover here, she's like blonde and looks kind of old, like older than she should be, I think. But it's pretty good, I'd say overall. I like the Ocean's 11 style that they were trying to go for here. And when I compare it to the new Scoundrels artwork, I look back to the 1960 Ocean's 11 movie to see if it was any resemblance to it, and no, I just don't see it. I do like the fact that they, at the very least, kept the characters the same. I think Kel is like in an X-Wing flight suit here, but basically everybody has the same style clothing that they were depicted in the original. It's just a different style. It's a little washed out, but it's not completely terrible. I don't think it's the worst ELC cover that we have so far. So
it's honestly one of the better ones, maybe.
Yeah, although I definitely wouldn't say it was an improvement. I don't hate it. So I'll leave it at that.
At least it's not AI art, so you know what, I'll take it.
That's true.
Liam, do you want to go?
So I was gonna say it's nice that it's not AI art for once, but then I noticed, where is Han's left eyebrow? Does he have a left eyebrow?
You
What
raise
is
a
going
very
on
good
there?
point.
Oh wow,
Hard to tell.
it's you're right. I hadn't even noticed that.
It's like one of those things with AI.
It's
Like you
very
have to
faint.
count the fingers
Yeah.
and make sure everybody has the right anatomical, layout there.
It looks off the more I look at it. I thought that was maybe shading at first, but now I can't tell.
Oh, strange.
Actually, while on that topic, they have a bunch of inconsistencies with that circular logo thing in the background. That is both overlaying and
Oh,
also
and on
behind them. Yeah,
That's
like
right,
yeah.
that circle on Han's chest, you see it fade on the left, but on the right it fades in the other direction.
yeah, it's kind of
And it
weird.
doesn't really come to anything. Like it is just a random bunch of circles and lines. Yeah.
Some of them are in front of people, some behind, and there's not much consistency to
Yeah.
which direction, I guess. The shadows bleeding towards the bottom right is kind of cool, I think. But
I agree.
Yeah.
the circles are just
But
weird.
Is
I
that supposed to be the
I
Falcon?
hate how
circles?
like
Maybe.
every single one of these ELC covers have had just the weirdest like shapes in the background, just for no reason, other than I guess to fill up space because I couldn't think of anything better to do, or just AI. But
Yep.
obviously I think the original cover is way better. Of course, it's one of my favorite EU covers. I just think it's really
Agreed.
neat.
I actually think it's up there.
This new cover, it's not the worst DLC cover that there's been, but it's not the best either.
Yeah.
I have to depart from this group.
Whoa.
First of all, the original cover is not Ocean's 11. The original cover is Usual Suspects. The new cover is actually Ocean's 11. If you look at the Ocean's 11 poster, you see them all sort of like arrayed next to each other walking. And that's exactly what you see here. This new cover is more representative of the book. The only thing that's bad about this new cover is the missing eyebrow is pretty bad, I admit. But also the color scheme is just wildly awful. But this new cover tells me more about the book than the old cover does. The old cover, they hide all the extra characters, the actual EU characters, in the back of the book, but all the marketable movie characters go in the front of the book. The new cover,
That's a fair point.
The new cover puts all the EU characters right in the front, and of course, like the big ticket characters get like the backdrop, and they're like bigger than life. But I can't believe people in the comments saying, I think two Star Wars nerds, I love you by the way, your channel is awesome, said that like this ELC cover is generic. I think it's dynamic. I think the color scheme is like truly god awful though, but like it's quite dynamic in the sense that it shows you like what this book is going to be about. Scoundrels, the original cover, it's just them in a lineup. Like that's like literally every Han, Chewie, and Lando adventure that you've ever seen is just them in a lineup. So I mean, I don't really know anything from that, but here I'm like, who's this pilot with the green suit? I want to know more about this guy. And yes, there is a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe to this that they're definitely riffing off of.
I noticed that too.
I appreciate that, and I think that whatever. But at the same time, like the original cover, they're just like riffing off of Han, Chewie, and Lando. And Paul Ewell is amazing, and it is like beautiful. This cover, don't get me wrong, but I think the new cover is a better representation of what this book is than the old cover is. And so for this, I'm going to have to go with the new cover. It's one of the more dynamic and inventive new covers that I've seen for the ELC. It actually, I think, says a bit more than the old cover does in terms of like what the story is and the characters involved. Although if they had put some of the other characters on the front cover of the old cover, I think my opinion would be different, other than like tucking them in the back of the hardcover. So anyways, that's my tirade. Sorry, I was like building up because everybody's like, oh, this old cover is amazing.
Hey, we love we enjoy having different takes on the panel.
First of all, this book is just not really one of my favorites at all. I think it's actually, it might be like Timothy Zahn's like second worst book.
It's definitely better than at least Choices of One and Allegiance.
Yeah, I was gonna say Allegiance being like his his worst book, or Choices of One. I forget which one I hate more. But I don't love this book, but I think, the new cover kind of has more of an Oceans vibe to me than the old cover does when I look at the movie posters.
I looked it up, and I'd agree with you on that.
See, the movie poster that I saw kind of has a side profile, so it's all them from the side, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Again,
fair enough.
The right one.
Bro shaved his eyebrows. He must have been part of a Dude Perfect challenge or something. I remember watching that as like 5-6 years ago. One of those guys shaved his eyebrows, and I was always terrified of that. Hey, it's Christian in here. I'm just catching up on the chat real quick. Good to see you, sir. She is going through X-Wing.
Yeah.
And enjoying it. Finally. Long overdue. We're glad you're enjoying it. I have great taste in covers. Oh, thank you. But apparently story content on the other hand, I've got bad taste. And he says that you guys are on the same page.
A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Feel like the patterns and shapes are AI.
Time to cancel Brennan for his taste.
Would agree with that.
Ian.
Yeah. And then the other covers.
Patterns and shapes do look a bit AI. I was thinking it looked like kind of like almost like a bullseye, maybe, but I don't know, like a crosshairs almost.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I don't really know.
I
what
think
it
this is the AI
Brady,
interpretation of what crosses are.
Yeah.
I think Brady said it was almost like the Falcon, the shape of the Falcon from an aerial perspective, the cockpit. Yeah.
It looks like that's what they tried to do.
You're giving them too much credit.
They don't think about these things.
Actually,
I think we're reaching too hard.
It's the rings of Waru. That's what they are.
I was thinking because the heist is at a Black Sun castle or whatever, I thought it was supposed to be a Black Sun. Obviously, it's not anything close to that, but I think it would be cool if they somehow incorporated the Black Sun symbol, which is well established in the EU, and things like, like Shadows of the Empire source book or something like that. Use something that we can recognize from it.
Sean in the comments says he prefers the new Knight Errant cover and Bane trilogy covers. I'm with you on Rule of Two for sure, and with Knight Errant as well. I would agree, definitely. And he goes on to say the Republic Commando covers are so bad, though. Oh man, they're atrocious. They're worst of the worst. They're very much feeling of AI, but I don't think the old ones were that good to begin with.
The one where his like arm is completely dislocated.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we had that. And of course, First Order Stormtroopers. Can't forget those. I maintain 000 is the best because it was the most the worst because it was the most low effort.
Yeah, and to Marcel's point here, Knight Errant also has a very good color scheme as well. We're getting some support for the Knight Errant ELC cover scheme as well. Nice. My only question about all of the ELC cover art I've seen is, are they all AI generated or were they physically created by an actual artist? I think it's half and half. I think someone is working on them to a degree, but some of them just seem like Photoshop and watermarks and etc. So we'll get on to the next slide here and go over Dark Lord, the Rise of Darth Vader. Now, I'm of the mindset that the original cover is not that good to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow the new cover looks worse. Like, how did they do that? How did they manage to do that? Like, how did they make it look worse than just Vader how did they do worse than a PNG of Vader with lava behind him? Like, they managed to be worse with original art. Like, I'm pretty sure this image of Vader on the left is just from one of the source books, I think. I think it's one of the stills from Revenge of the Sith that's been used. I like it, but it's like it's not a great cover. And the new one is just absolutely trash. So that's my thoughts. We'll sling it down to Brady.
All right. I'd have to say for all of the prequel novels, at least all the ones that I can think of, they're of course movie tie-ins and they're advertised that way. And this one is also for the old cover. And like Brendan was saying that, oh, sorry, my thing went off. Like Brendan was saying, it looks like they just took a PNG and put it there. However, I grew up in the like I started watching Star Wars whenever Revenge of the Sith was coming out. And so I'm very nostalgic for the like the font, the design, all that different stuff for it. And so also that it has the must-read sequel to Revenge of the Sith, while I think it was Labyrinth of Evil had the must-read prequel to Revenge of the Sith. But I actually don't mind the new cover. It it doesn't add anything. I think the lightsaber blade is too like I don't know. There's something about it that's just a little off for me. But I think they could have done way better. Of course, Darth Vader being the main character of Star Wars, we've seen so much art done with him that it's kind of hard to, I guess pick one that you'd like. But I think it's all right. That's kind of all I got to say about that. Liam, if you want to go, we can just make our way down the list.
I don't particularly hate either of them. I think the new one is just lacking any, I don't know, effort. It just seems kind of boring. It's not really any different than the original one. It's just Vader standing there with a lightsaber. And as several of you have mentioned, the photoshopping of the promotional images of just Darth Vader. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really been a fan of that for most of the prequel covers. Yeah, that's I think the original cover is better. They're both okay. That's about all I really have to say about that.
Marcel, do you want to go?
Yeah, I don't really have a ton to add beyond what's already been said, other than to say that I agree that the original cover is better. It's more dynamic. Vader's in like his classic kind of like action pose. He looks like he has like his force choke ready to go. It kind of stands out a bit more. I love like the big Star Wars font, right? And like Brady, like you said, the must-read sequel to Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
Oh yeah.
The new cover, I don't know, Vader looks kind of pudgy for some reason. I don't know. It's just maybe perspective is off, but I don't like it. But again, both covers are not like great, I guess. What it would have been cool is if they had drawn Vader fighting one of the Jedi that he fights in this book on the cover. That would have been, I think, really enticing from a commercial perspective as well. So kind of a missed opportunity there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Greyholme.
Yeah.
Okay, a few comments. Firstly, I think I have to defend the prequel covers in general. Because, okay, sure, most of them were just heavily Photoshop things because Photoshop had come out and the cover designers wanted to just play around with them. Sure. But at least the characters still look realistic and they still look cool. Like, let's say Yoda Dark Rendezvous cover always gets criticized, but, well, it still has Coruscant looking like it does in the prequels, and that's nice. It still has Yoda and Dooku, who are, pretty important in the book. Sure, poses taken straight from the movie, but they're recognizably the same characters, they look cool, and that gets the book sold. Fair enough. For Dark Lord Rise of Darth Vader, I read somewhere that Lucino was given the title. He didn't get to choose. Which makes sense because, well, this is Lucino we're talking about, and the title is kind of eh. And the cover reflects this. I think there's a bit of a disconnect between what's on the cover and the title versus what's in the book, because, well, sure, you do get a lot of Anakin, but you also get a lot of Road Trine and those other Jedis, and nothing about them is on the cover, nothing about them is in the title. So as far as the cover goes, I'm fine with this in that it corresponds to how the book was marketed, and at least, like everyone has said, he still looks pretty cool. And yeah, must be a sequel to Revenge of the Sith. Sure, nice enough. The new one. Okay. There are many inconsistencies, which I have to point out again. It's probably not AI on the same scale, definitely not like 000. But I can't shake the feeling that, like all the rest, they started with some AI base. Like his helmet. You see a very strange, blotchy reflection of his lightsaber that just doesn't look like anything from physics. The coloring is very wrong. His body seems a bit compacted. Like, I think that's why he looked pudgy to you, Marcel. It's like they just shrunk his torso downwards. And yeah, maybe it's something about perspective as well. And you also get these really weird folds in his shirt, I guess. And like Alex pointed out in the comments, that the chest piece looks blurry and for some reason also tilted to the right a bit. So overall, the proportions just don't line up. And he doesn't look quite like Darth Vader. If you told me that this is somebody on DeviantArt drawing Darth Vader, okay. You told me that this is a Star Wars cover. Yeah.
I'd like to add something. I think it might be AI generated, because there are 4 pieces on his chest box going like horizontal lines going up and down.
Yeah.
And I just looked it up because, like you were mentioning, like just that part, and the box actually has 3. I don't know if anyone else noticed that.
Yeah, it looks like there's supposed to be 3 in pretty much every other depiction of Darth Vader.
Yeah. That, or they just forgot that.
Or the AI forgot.
The AI forgot, probably.
Alex, you want to go? Unless Greyholme has something else.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can I say? I mean, that was basically my main point, was that the thing looks, blurry in the middle, and that made me think AI immediately. I agree with everyone. I think the covers are both kind of mid, but like Marcel said, I really like the big giant Star Wars that was in a lot of, the old legend stuff. You get the big Star Wars on there. That's what it should feel like, right? Because it's Star Wars, as opposed to every Essential Legends collection, which is kind of, at the top in the corner. To try to be positive, I kind of do like the red reflecting on the armor to give this kind of blood effect, on the. I kind of like that. The problem is that it's just kind of like, I don't know, the art's just kind of blurry, and it just I think they're both okay, but if I'm gonna have to stick with 2 mid-tier covers, I'm gonna stick with one on the left. I mean, you got James Lucino, the very bottom, and I like how it's there more than it is at the top of the right on there. And then you got the must-read sequel to Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. Like it just you're like, okay, you just watched episode 3, you're like, all right, I'm ready to read this. I don't feel like you get that as much if you look at the cover on the right.
Well, first of all, I'll say, after going over Scoundrels, which I think was one of the worst books in the EU, I think Dark Lord Rise of Darth Vader is arguably one of the most underrated books in the EU. I think it's one that a lot of people forget, and it's a really good book. I have a lot of good memories, particularly in this period of the release order, like post Revenge of the Sith. Everybody seems to think now that like after Revenge of the Sith came out, the EU kind of died. No, I think it was going like full steam. I think it had as big of a head of steam as it did at any other point, including in the 90s, like post Zahn trilogy. So I think this book is tremendous, and the covers in general of the prequel era, very poor. They used Photoshop in a lot of instances. You think of things like Cloak of Deception, where it's just like Valorum, and like Rogue Planet, where it's just Obi-Wan and Anakin and that. I think David Stevenson worked some photo elements from the film to make this cover. So I think this is supposed to be Hayden Christensen in the Darth Vader suit when they filmed him.
It would look like it.
Yeah, but I see what they were trying to do. I mean, it makes sense to put Darth Vader on the cover of this, but I agree with Marcel to put someone like Ollie Starstone, or I think that's the Padawan that actually gets away in this book and is still at large after this book is over. That would have been a great idea, just to put something else from the EU on there. I know obviously you have to put the main characters on the cover to sort of get people to buy it, right? They're not going to be familiar with like who Winter is necessarily if they're sees something like Scoundrels on the bookshelf there, but it's just unfortunate because I think the book is a lot better than the cover there. The new cover, I mean, we have Darth Vader again. Again, you could just do something else, add some more characters on this. I mean, this book in particular has Bail Organa. I mean, there's a lot of other characters you could put on here. Kenobi, right? Obi-Wan. And the new ELC cover kind of reminds me of, I think it was the Obi-Wan Disney Plus show that's kind of shot in the dark, where you have like Vader versus Obi-Wan and everything's like super dark and all you see is like reflections of the lightsabers. Like that's what this kind of reminds me of. I don't know if they were going for that sort of vibe, but I don't know. It leaves a lot to be desired. I think there's much better creative things you could do with it, and it's disappointing overall.
I'd like to add something. I don't know if y'all can see this, but I feel like that would be a better cover. Can you guys see that?
Yep, can see it now.
Yes,
from the
absolutely
Essential Reader's Guide or Companion, but
I agree.
They could have just opened up that book and taken all the images for all the books that they're reprinting, because I think they've already done, those ones. Oh, another thing is the mouthpiece is missing one of the, I don't know what it would be, vent pieces in the new cover.
Oh, yeah. It's the little slits.
I just really wish that neither of these covers tell you anything about the actual book itself. And I liked this book when I read it, but it kind of the marketing really threw me off, because for a book that it looks like it's about Darth Vader, and there are some really great Vader moments, but there's stunningly a lot less Vader than you might think. And I'm surprised that with this new ELC cover, they didn't change anything about it.
Yeah.
I think we went through the whole lineup. Brennan, you want to come back in?
Walrus Jedi is up next, and then we're on to the next cover.
Well, for both of these covers, I think they're kind of boring, and I wish they had more characters on them. And the old one is better than the new one.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Yeah, absolutely. So I have some thoughts as I've been sitting here listening to all you guys. First of all, absolutely right. I started this comment. Vader looks like he's got a belly. Yes, absolutely. You guys, as soon as you guys pointed that out, and I couldn't unsee it. it looks like he's melted ice cream. He's actively decomposing on the cover, which is just really
It should
it's really
reflect
funny.
his decomposing of Anakin Skywalker. That's what it is. It's poetry. It rhymes.
Right.
It rhymes, yeah, absolutely.
Interestingly, there's a part of this book where it goes through like the bodily functions that he lost getting burned and like cut in half on Mustafar, and how like the lungs work and his digestive system and like all this stuff. It's like it's really gross at certain points. So you have to remember it's not really him. It's like there's a machine just keeping him alive, kind of like an iron lung. But yeah, it does look a little weird on the new cover.
And I wasn't expecting Brady's absolute dissection of Vader's suit, but I'm glad we got that because, yeah, I think that seems to indicate that this is AI. I thought Scott's point about the Kenobi show was very valid, and I agreed wholeheartedly with what Marcel, Scott, and Walrus Jedi, and Liam, all of y'all said about wishing there were more characters. Oli Starstone was a great shout. Rowan Shrine as well. Maybe the 501st because they were heavily involved. Throw a Wookiee on there because Sheik's featured heavily. You know, there's so much that you could have added to the cover to spice it up, and they just didn't. And that's a shame. One thing I also thought is looking at the lightsaber, to me it looks curved. Like, it looks like it can't go up at that angle. Am I alone in that? Like, it looks almost like it's bent.
To me, it looks too thin, like the Star Wars Rebels lightsabers.
Yeah.
That's true, too. Yeah.
It looks exactly like it did in the Obi-Wan TV show. I think they were going for the same, like, skinny-looking lightsaber that you saw in A New Hope before the super specialized edition and all that. So it looks very similar to that.
So can I say that just irrespective of the covers, this is the first James Luceno book that I truly liked. So I read, I think, what was A Cloak of Deception when it came out, and I was like, I was a bit too young to appreciate that book. But I read the two NJO books, Hero's Trial and Jedi Eclipse, I think they're called. And I didn't love them as a kid. I thought, like, I was like, James Luceno is not like my favorite author. And then I read this book and I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. It was like, this book was like breakneck. It was so good. And so like Scott's comment about it just kind of being slept on really resonates with me because this was the book that made me fall in love with James Luceno. And since then I've read like, obviously like Plagueis and I think Labyrinth of Evil and everything else that he's written has been amazing. But this was the first book where it changed my opinion of him completely.
I think for me it was Labyrinth of Evil, but then definitely this one that he hit like 2 for 2 in a row, just absolute home runs. It really solidified that he is like one of the best authors in the EU, arguably the best.
Yeah.
Ironically,
I read this before Labyrinth, Scott, so that's why.
The sequel and then the prequel.
Yeah.
I always wondered what happened to Oli Starstone afterwards. I wonder if Luceno had any plans himself or if he was just leaving it open-ended. Because I quite like that character. She's a great protagonist. As she kind of rises up through the books. I highlighted this comment as well, where it says, "This is Inkstone's next hardcover. They're announcing the pre-orders soon." From Only Good Games, I have one of those, which is I don't know if you can see down here, but the Dawn of the Jedi hardcover is from Inkstone Books, and it's wonderful. They're signed. They've got lovely spray painted. I don't know if that's the word for it. It's the printed, colored paper edges. It feels fancy. It feels quality. Now I know they also did Plagueis, Kenobi, Shatterpoint. I think as well. No, Shatterpoint. Death Troopers. Okay, I couldn't remember that other one. And is this the next one?
I think so. And the last couple sold out really fast, particularly the Dark Plagueis one. So
yeah, I bet
like
it did.
if you want this, order it quickly because I think more and more people are just generally aware now that Inkstone is doing these boutique printings.
I got the Dawn of the Jedi one.
I have Plagueis. You have to, just real quickly for people who are listening, I think you have to sign up, like pre-order or not pre-order. You have to sign up for like the newsletter or something to be able to pre-order it.
Yes, and they'll send you an email, and only people with the emails get a chance to sign up to pre-order.
So sorry, I just want to mention that in case people are interested in it.
it's a difficult way to pre-order. It definitely is. Greyholme says that he's going to have to run in a few minutes, so we're going to let him go through the rest of the cover, the last cover, real quick, and give his thoughts. And then after that, we'll all give our thoughts on the next cover. So I'm going to throw Greyholme back in. And Greyholme, I'll also go to the last two slides, and you can give commentary on the covers there as well. I provided some alternate covers from foreign countries that are probably better than the ELCs. And I think Brady made a great point as well about was that Reader's Companion that has that art piece depicting I Will Kolka, and the other one's name is escaping me, but I Will Kolka and the other Jedi fighting Vader.
Yeah,
it's a great art piece.
They all die except Starstone. I think she's the only one that gets away.
Thanks, Brendan. Well, my laptop died earlier, so I was cut off. Whoops. But just a couple closing thoughts on Rise of Darth Vader. Only Starstone appeared in a fanfiction I read for some reason. Set in the Yuzhan Vong War. I think in this one, Anakin didn't, not gonna spoil it. But then this guy just pulled up with a ton of references. So I think Oli Starstone was in the Shiss library or something as an archivist. No, sorry, not Shiss, Imperial Remnant, which I found just epic. So she was undercover in the Imperial Remnant, just in the library, and then towards the end of the war, she just pulls out a lightsaber, which was pretty epic. Okay, on to the next one. Oh, and one final thing on the AI. The mist is just really, really inconsistent in this one. I have no idea what's going on there. I'm sure it's AI at this point. Okay, Force Unleashed. I gotta make this quick. I still haven't read The Force Unleashed 2. And I can't remember if... Oh, maybe I did a long time ago, and I'm not sure if I ever read the first one. And I haven't gotten very far with the games either. But the proportions in this new cover just look wrong. I mean, it's cool that they show the epic final fight, which is more than can be said of the original cover. But the style is a bit blurry in a very ELC way, and the characters just look slightly off. Like, Vader, for example, his helmet looks very samurai-ish. Like, the back sticks out way too much. And there's something going on with his arm and gloves. It's like his elbow is at a very strange angle. And yeah, it just looks off in, again, a very ELC way. And the lighting is a bit funny. A lot of glare in, yet again, a very ELC way. So I still have to go with the original, as has been my stance throughout. But to be fair, this is one of the best ELC covers. It does what it needs to do, even if it isn't perfect. Scoundrel's full cover art, I can't really comment very much. Brazilian one is cool as always. Though Han looks... If Han looked like this in the Solo movie, it would actually have been pretty cool. This looks very much like a young Han Solo, so I like this cover a lot.
Nalhas. Sorry, that's what it says. Kanalhas. I can't pronounce that.
Yeah, I don't really have that much to say. Okay, this one's just epic. This one's just epic. It's not the best Nagano cover by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still a pretty cool one. I mean, you have all the important things except New Jedi. Would have been nice if we'd gotten more of the Jedi who don't have art, like Oli Starstone or Won't Shrine, like for the other two covers. But, I mean, you still have a lot of epic things. It's just a bit too equally in the sense that you have all these still characters just put on this spacey background with some explosions. And they don't quite fit in with the background. So this isn't very high in my Nagano cover list, but it's still a pretty cool cover. And with that, unless there are more slides, I think it is time for me to run off for lunch. So thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for
Good to be
coming on,
back.
Greyholme. It was really nice to have you. Nice to hear your voice again, as always.
Hopefully I'll make the next one, and then we
Absolutely.
can forget about the one that I missed.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, what one that you missed? Weren't you there?
I
Right?
missed the last one, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Before we move off this one, because I know we're going to talk about this one, but I just need to make the observation now. Vader's crotch is far too prominently featured
Yeah.
in this photo.
Yeah.
It also
I try not to focus on that whenever I see Vader.
It looks very
Very awkward
uncomfortable.
to be
Like
Yeah.
It's all off center.
I'm starting to
But
feel
that
like a
was the
pinch.
point.
Ah.
Well, Star
The
Wars is
story
about
really
Darth
went
Vader
on
and
and
his
on and on about
kids,
that.
so
Well played.
Good point, Brady. As always, Brady takes the cake with the best point. But I hope
Very,
you have a
very
great
well played.
lunch, Greyholme, and I'm glad that you still hate ELC covers with a passion. It's my favorite thing about you. No, I'm just
Thanks.
kidding. But it's up there. Have
All
a
right.
good lunch, man.
See
See you
ya.
later.
Have a good one, Greyholme. See you.
All right, we come to the Force Unleashed, the Force Unleashed 2. Why don't we have Walrus Jedi go first on this one, and we'll go up the panel. What are your thoughts here?
All right. Well, the new one it's not too bad. I don't like that it's blurry. I wish it was more detailed. But yeah, but I would still say I prefer the old one over the new one.
Yeah. Scott?
Again, I'll just speak real quickly on this book. I think it does an amazing job rather than just telling you the story from the video game, which Force Unleashed 1 was a much longer video game than Force Unleashed 2.
Was.
This, in addition to the graphic novel, tells it from a different angle. And particularly this novel had something that I especially enjoyed, which was it told the story of how Akbar escapes slavery, because I think it's mentioned way early on, like in the West End Games books, of how he is a personal slave to Grand Moff Tarkin. And Juno Eclipse, actually, I think it's in this book and not Force Unleashed 1. Juno Eclipse, yeah, it is this book. So Juno Eclipse actually goes and recruits Akbar to the Alliance and like escape. They escape captivity, and then he joins the Alliance, as we understand. So I mean, that makes this book absolutely incredible, because it gives you that story that I personally have been waiting to read. But the cover just doesn't do it justice. So this original cover was straight from LucasArts, the video game company. It's pretty similar to the game cover. I think there's a couple small modifications, but it just really doesn't give you anything about the book itself other than it's a tie into the video game. And for that reason, I never really liked it. Now the new cover, again, it's basically a scene from the video game. Stylistically, it's very similar to the Force Unleashed 1 ELC cover, so at least they're consistent. But I don't really think either one is great. Again, they're not terrible. So very, very similar to the ELC for Scoundrels that we covered. It's not the worst one, but there's nothing special about it, I don't think.
Marcel?
I am so torn. I don't really love either of them. I can't choose between them. It's like a tie for me, because I think both have their merits, which are few. But I like the profile of Sam Witwer in the first one. I like the colors. I like the color scheme in the original cover. think it matches the two blue lightsabers. But with that stern look on his face, I'm so confused as a consumer because he has a blue lightsaber, but like, why is he looking so angry? Anger is not the way of the Jedi. And then I look at the new cover, which I think kind of does something a bit new. Like it shows him fighting Vader. And maybe tells you a bit more about the story, which I'm a fan of, seeing a bit more about the story in the cover. But it loses points because the font is so generic, like The Force Unleashed 2, right? As opposed to like the dynamic font. If gun to my head, if you made me choose between the two of them, I'd probably choose the old cover. But I agree with what Scott said and what others have said. Like that, neither cover is amazing, and maybe it's just because I'm just not really keen on the Force Unleashed stories generally. I think they're like canon-breaking abominations, but for what they are, I think that the old cover does a slightly better job of representing these books.
Yeah. Liam.
Let's see. If I had to choose between the two, first of all, I want to say I think that both the Force Unleashed 1 and 2 ELC covers, they kind of remind me of the ones that they did for Darth Bane.
Definitely.
Where it's like really where part of the background's really unfinished, if that makes sense.
I see that.
I think they're both pretty good actually. This is a tough one, but I think I'd probably still go with the original just because I think the original just gets everything right in terms of, well, everything. Like others have mentioned, the logo, it looks fantastic. As far as the color scheme and everything goes. That's pretty much all I've got to say about this. I think everybody else has said pretty much everything that needs to be said. I don't have much to add.
Brady?
Could I share my screen?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
I'll get Alex in here for his analysis after.
Let's see. All right. So
I'm scared. First of all, this better not be anything Ahsoka or Salonian related. All right.
Dang it! I'm kidding. All right. While he still has the covers up, take a look at Darth Vader's helmet. Okay, I think Greyholme had mentioned it.
Samurai-esque.
It's kind of that samurai-esque.
Yeah.
This is what I thought of the moment I really focused on it. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with Star Wars Detours?
Detours? Oh my goodness, yes.
The big helmet. I don't know if they're trying to cash in on that or anything, but that was my first thought whenever.
It brought you right back to Star Wars.
It brought me right there, and I was like, whoa.
It took a detour in your mind, you could say.
Yeah, join the dark side because it's cool, or whatever he says.
Yo, the Empire's pretty chill, dudes. Maybe you could like join it or something.
Yes.
It would be funny if he had like the Spaceballs helmet. You know,
that's also helmet. What I was thinking of. Dark helmet. I kind of like they try to go for it kind of looks like a water paint that they're going for. That's kind of it. I prefer
kind of similar to the vibe of the SWTOR ones, I think.
Yeah, a little bit. I prefer the old one because I was at the perfect age. I in 2008, I got Force Unleashed 1, played it, loved it, played it 100 times. Then 2 came out, and I wasn't old enough to buy it myself because I think I was 12 then. And my dad, I had to convince my dad to buy it for me. And I played that so much. I don't get some people. I know why as a canon level why people dislike this, but as a game, I played it on the Wii. So great. I feel like it's overhated. But anyway, I have so much nostalgia for it.
I love the Force Unleashed. I do. I truly do.
The only thing that I wish they had done maybe in the novel. I haven't finished the novel, so I'm not sure if there's any tidbits of it. But if they were able to set up Dark Empire in a better way, that would be the perfect story, because cloning of Force sensitives, maybe even a setup, which I know if someone else did it, Timothy Zahn would be mad, but Jorah Sabaoth, like, what's up with that? Like, maybe have a reference to him being cloned or something, because we never got that. But yeah, the proportions of Vader are a little off.
He reminds me of a Power of the Force action figure. He's got those bulky shoulders here.
For sure. Like, his arm looks stiff enough that it kind of reminds me of like the Kenner toys, where it's stiff and the lightsaber comes out.
One
of the
day
arm.
I hope my arm is muscly enough and firm enough to where someone says, that looks like a Kenner Star Wars arm. That would be the highest compliment possible, I think.
The Power of the Force arms.
Yeah, Power of the Force arms, even better. Yeah.
I don't know, like the old cover, it's what it is. It's a tie-in to a game. And then the newer one, it's kind of odd having the Roman numeral 2 for the Force Unleashed 2 instead of Force Unleashed Book 2, like a lot of the other sequels would have.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's just kind of like they just copied and pasted.
Book 2 of the Force Unleashed trilogy that we never got.
That's what that's what you do. Set up the hype.
You guys just wait. Inkstone Books is going to publish The Force Unleashed 3, the first new EU novel since Supernatural Encounters, I guess. It'll be great. Force Unleashed 3, Sean Williams.
I'm just saying, now that we got the Rogue Squadron trilogy that we didn't know existed, or was it Rogue Squadron series? I don't know. ELC just kind of makes up their own trilogies as they go along. But going back to what Brady said and how it would have been nice to get some sort of reference to like Dark Empire or the Jorah Sabaoth cloning or something like that. What Force Unleashed 2 did in particular that I thought was really important just for the EU in general, even though I think we all know Force Unleashed has some continuity issues with like things like the Executor being online and other things like that. What it does do, and the Force Unleashed 2 does in particular, is at the very end of it, I think a lot of people forget there's a rebel attack on Kamino, which basically destroys all the cloning facilities. So I think that's important to establish that the Empire doesn't have the facilities available
very true.
ever again.
Especially why stormtroopers don't sound like clones in the original trilogy.
Right, especially in the post Endor scene where we have things like the Sparty cloning cylinders and things like that, as well as the cloning facility on Biss.
It is really important that Kamino gets destroyed, absolutely. I have great fondness for the Force Unleashed games just because of the age I was when I played them. The first video game I ever owned was my 12th birthday. I got a Wii and I got the Force Unleashed. And I loaded it up and I stared in awe as I marched around my television as Darth Vader, filet mignoning Wookiees. I was in awe. I was drawn into Star Wars in a way I'd never been before. I was drawn into the immersion of third-person video games as I never had before.
It was the murdering of innocents that drew you into Star Wars.
That's
slaying Wookiees and enslaving them left, right, and center. And I was such a Star Wars fan.
I was like, let's go. Those Wookiees had it coming.
No, you were the perfect demographic for that. I'm just kidding.
Yes, I was the perfect demographic at the time. Didn't like Force Unleashed 2 as much, but I have great nostalgia for the. Do I already have nostalgia? I can't have nostalgia. Yeah, I'm too young. I have great fondness for the Force Unleashed series of games. Wish we could have gotten a third one. The novels are pretty good. They're all right. They're not anything groundbreaking. The comics, specifically the second comic, is actually quite good. But in regards to the Force Unleashed, I know that they break lore which I hate, of course, because I love continuity. So I learned of that later as I delved further into the EU, and that's unfortunate. But I still have a soft spot for them. Still wish we could have gotten a third one. Maybe Leland Chee could have written the Force Unleashed 3 novel and explained away all inconsistencies. But my opinions on the covers before Alex gives his. The Force Unleashed 2 original cover, I really like it. I feel like it says everything you need to know about the book. It's just a dude who has lightsabers who's angry. I mean, what more do you need? The second one is good, but I do slightly prefer the first one. Alex, what do you think?
I mean, again, what can I really add that you all haven't said? Since you talked about the actual stories themselves, I mean, I suppose I was also younger when those games came out, so I'm a bit more positive toward them. Though I've read both the novels, I think that the first novel is it's just the game. So why am I going to read a book about the game if it's the exact same? I mean, there's some things in there to like make Starkiller be less powerful, kind of make more sense and less absurd. So for that, I appreciate it. But overall, like I'd rather just play the video game. As for the Force Unleashed 2, as Scott said, I appreciate the things with Akbar and the cloning facility getting destroyed. And for whatever lore inconsistencies there may be, I don't think they're nearly as bad as TCW or anything. I definitely feel like another book or some sources could have easily fixed most of the stuff that was in there that was a problem. So I don't feel like it's as glaring as other people feel it may be. As for the covers, again, everybody kind of said the same thing. I don't really like that it's just the video game character on there, but it's a video game tie-in, so that's of course you're going to do. I do like what Marcel said about the Force Unleashed kind of like logo in there. I think it like looks nice as opposed to just the white text. I do really like that we get to actually see a scene from the game or the book in the right cover. I do kind of like the pastel look. I think they're both serviceable. I think neither of them are particularly what I would want from this cover, or for what I would want for a cover of this game or book. But it is what it is. If I had to choose one that's better, I might say the one on the right, just because there's more to it than just Sam Witwer's face on the cover. And I just think that's kind of lame. But that's about it on my end, I guess.
You saying you don't like Sam Witwer's face, Alex?
Well, he's great. He's great. I'm not
just kidding.
It's all about his face.
I'm just going to throw something out there. What if the clone, because we know the clone in the Force Unleashed 2, I guess there's some speculation whether it's the original Starkiller coming back from the dead or another clone. But who's to say that the guy on the cover of the original Force Unleashed 2 is the Starkiller that you play in the game? What if he's one of those evil clones from Kamino? That's why he looks so pissed off there.
That could be true. Yeah. We have a bunch of comments to catch up on. I'm feeling like Matt Wilkins, like an hour behind in comments. So we'll catch up in a sec. But sorry, go ahead, Brady.
Matt Wilkins.
So I don't know. It almost fits better in with like the continuity, I guess, or at least with the cliffhanger that we got with the story. But the dark side ending of Force Unleashed 2 fits better for a like a conclusion to the universe, because like doesn't hurt anything that I can think of. I don't know. I haven't finished the book, so I don't know how that affect the book or anything. But
doesn't he kill Vader?
No.
No.
For the second one, there's a perfected clone of Starkiller, and that kills the protagonist of the game. So the one that the clone you play as, and then he goes out to hunt down Jedi, and so not
Well,
Jedi,
that's the bad ending.
Rebels.
Yeah,
that's the bad ending.
So Vader isn't captured in the bad
No.
ending. Okay. Yeah,
and
maybe that is.
I guess at this point, we could choose either.
Well, Ram Koda does die in that, and then he does appear later.
He does appear later in,
but he gets force
Elite
pushed
Squadron.
off the, because they don't have railings, and so he flies into the ocean. And
I didn't realize this was gonna become Brady's danger analysis.
Yeah, he could.
I mean,
have
let's be
survived.
honest. Kamino's very dangerous. Like they have no safety precautions.
Risk analysis of the Star Wars universe with fine additions. That's
There
your
we
new
go.
podcast.
Think of their insurance costs with all that water and no like safety railing or anything like that, and it's always raining.
Yeah.
How many slip and fall accidents they have on Kamino?
More than at a banana factory.
Oh my god, they have like a
Bubble.
flood insurance, like a carve out, because it would be impossible. They'd have to
They're in a
pay out.
war zone. They're
Yeah.
like a military target, so they got like.
I want to see a story, and it's being like an insurance agent in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the franchise is called Star Wars. Like, I feel like that would be like a fun comedy.
Insurance
or
would be
That would be.
great on some planets during the wars.
Yeah,
They would be doing
Coruscant,
fantastic.
Like
Yeah,
I wonder
if
if
you insure
Palpatine had so much
Coruscant, you're
money.
making dough.
Like Palpatine had so much, investments or
Those
whatever.
rates must be extraordinarily high.
Well, you see, the Coruscant had great fire insurance up until Palpatine planned on getting captured, and then it just suddenly went away. So,
How do you think they built the Death Star 2? You got a payout on the Death Star 1, and that's why the Death Star 2 was unfinished, because the insurance company never paid him the full amount that he was owed, so he couldn't build the Death Star 2 to completion.
Yeah.
So if the Lusankia comes out of the ground on Coruscant and destroys my high-rise building, am I covered from that?
All right.
You could stay invested in Alderaan places.
They have insurance because there were
Alderaan
Alderaanians
places. That's funny, Liam.
No.
I need to work on that fan fiction. Do like a
I'm gonna-
comedy.
Yeah,
why
that'd be
why don't you pop me off and put Walrus Jedi on so you can be part of the
I can
festivities
absolutely.
here.
Yeah. I banish you to the Charnel realm. Just kidding, Marcel. Just kidding.
That's
Hearts for Marcel. But we have some more covers to get to in a sec. I'll go through the comments, and we'll take a brief look at some of those foreign covers. Maybe they're better than the ELCs. Sean said that he thought both the Darth Vader covers were a bit generic, which I agree about. And Marcel, from the Charnel Worlds, says that Vader's hand gripping the saber looks odd in the new cover, which for sure. Two Star Wars nerds said that the EU matches Labyrinth and Revenge of the Sith, at least cohesive identity versus randomness of ELC covers. That's a very good point. Yeah, you'd think they'd release Revenge of the Sith in Essential Legends Collection, but my theory is they're worried they're going to alienate and confuse fans if they brand a book that's a novelization of one of the prequel films that's a part of canon as an essential story to Legends. I think they're worried that they're going to start confusing people, and that might be why they don't have the film novelizations in the catalog.
Well,
what do you guys think?
They are essential legends, especially Revenge of the Sith, because that, out of all the original novels, ties into the EU the most.
Definitely.
And I don't even think the new canon claims the novelization by Matthew Stover of Revenge of the Sith, like, because it references other things. I think Revenge of the Sith is only canon insofar as what's depicted in the latest version of the film that's on Disney Plus. Like all those prior versions, the comic, the novelization, like all that just doesn't exist in the new canon anymore. So I don't see why they wouldn't come out with an EU book for that. Now, some of the other ones may not sell as well. I mean, is anybody going to buy Alan Dean Foster's A New Hope novelization as an Essential Legends collection? I don't know. That's been reprinted so many times at this point. But
depends on the
cover. The prequel novels, maybe. Yeah, it depends on the cover, right? Another AI cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because like you said, Revenge of the Sith has a lot of EU in there. Lots of EU. I don't know. I'd love to see them print some actually essential EU.
I'm surprised that they didn't call Dark Lord Rise of Darth Vader Book 3 and the Dark Lord trilogy.
They print book 1 and print book just that's so funny.
Just 1 and 3.
Just print 1 and 3
because it might confuse people. And then they put it in a box set and it's got I'm reading Revenge right now and it's
they came out with Labyrinth of Evil already, right? Is Labyrinth of Evil?
I don't think so.
No.
So here's what they do. When they do come out with Labyrinth of Evil, they say it's book 1 of the Dark Lord trilogy.
And
then if they ever do Revenge of the Sith, they say it's book 2, but we never get a book 3. You just gotta like make the reference yourself. That
make the connection yourself.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Or they do a reprint and they change the cover again.
Wonder what AI is going to do with General Grievous on the Labyrinth of Evil cover. 'Cause
Give
that
him
would be
eight
crazy.
arms,
The amount
eight
of
arms and 10 fingers. Yeah. Harry's
let's
in the
pull
chat.
up,
He said he does like how the first cover fits with the style of Labyrinth and Revenge of the Sith. Let's see, scrolling through, just trying to catch up here. Would love to see a leak from Random House revealing their branding guidelines, if any, for ELC. I have a feeling there's none. Yep,
It would be
pretty much
great.
that.
It would be great to talk to someone from Del Rey who's in charge of releasing these. Like, I haven't seen hardly any interviews or any discussion points talking about like what we want to see or any of this stuff.
Wait,
like,
we did see the behind the scenes with Dylan and Matt on that one stream.
Oh yes, we did.
Yeah,
that was
we
exclusive.
Exclusive interview.
That was exclusive to Matt's channel. Only he has that connection. But it would be great for other people to also have those connections.
Marcel, is this
Should we
true?
link that in the description?
Is this a joke or is this true? Just a sec. Yeah.
Ruins of Dantooine is the third
It's
one.
absolutely true. And according to Wikipedia, and the third one is Choices of One, which doesn't even make sense because they never did Allegiance.
What? So I was told that they did. That is so confusing. Okay, so the leak
Also,
I saw,
the editor,
Oh my
one of
goodness.
the editors who is responsible for this, said on Reddit recently that they are not done the Essential Legends collection, but he said that they're closer to the end than they are to the beginning, which is crazy because they haven't touched Jedi Academy trilogy, they haven't touched New Jedi Order, they haven't touched Truce of Bakura, they haven't literally but you get Honor Amongst Thieves, Razor's Edge, and why? So they can put Han Solo and Leia on the cover.
Yeah. Oh man, so Razor's Edge, Honor Among Thieves, and Choices of One are what we'll cover on Wave 13.
According to Wikipedia,
I've heard.
Why would you be printing some of the most recently published books again? Why
I've
not
heard
go
Rogue
back
Planet
to the...
is one too.
Although Rogue Planet based. Greg Bear passed away recently.
Wait.
Nice.
How many? So there's going to be 4?
No, Rogue Planet and Shadows of the Empire is Wave 13. 2.
Okay.
Only 2 books in Wave 13.
And then Wave 14
I've got a
is
Zizor
these
cover
3.
for them.
Okay, because
according to Wikipedia, I just looked it up right now.
Okay, because I just checked this days ago. The leak I saw said it was going to be Choices of One, Shadows of the Empire, and Rogue Planet was going to be Wave 13. But it sounds like they split them with Wave 13 and Wave 14. So Wave 13 will be 2.
Release date November 6, 2025.
Wow.
The year of our Lord. Choices of One, Honor Amongst Thieves, and Razor's Edge.
This is all I want. This is all I want.
Thieves and Razor's Edge. Wow. And so Shadows of
much to ask.
Shadows of the Empire is Essential Legends finally.
Yeah.
But
finally, right.
And Rogue Planet is cool if they're gonna do New Jedi Order.
Where is hard merchandise? If we're just gonna where is hard merchandise? If we're just gonna put random books.
Calm down.
Wait just a sec. Let me get Alex back here.
Calm down.
Alex, what do you think about that?
It won't be complete until you get the whole trilogy in there.
You got to mix
we
them
all know
up.
it's the best Star Wars trilogy.
What's that Spider's name in those books? I forget his name.
Oh,
Alex knows.
Kudabi.
Is that Kuad?
Mubat?
Mubat, yeah.
Yeah.
Isan al-Kaib.
Lisa Nagaib.
Kick me off again. I'm
sounds like he's
talking.
from Al Qaeda or something.
They reprinted the Bounty Hunter Wars.
Yeah. It's a beautiful volume there. Yeah.
I heard it's better than the book.
I saw that Liam said that he has to go in 5, so we'll get his thoughts on these last covers, and then go through the rest of the comments that we're behind on. Liam, I included the full cover for Scoundrels here. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. Also, the Brazilian one. Do you think the Brazilian one's better than the original or the ELC? Do you think it's worse?
The Brazil one looks like they took the characters and stuck them in Unreal Engine 5, which I don't dislike, but it's just something interesting I noticed.
Yeah.
And I love the original cover art for Scoundrels. It's absolutely gorgeous. What, by the way, what is that like an air vent down there where the spine is supposed to be?
I think so. Yeah.
I never understood what the heck that was.
I think it's on the side of the paperback doesn't have that. Maybe it's behind the eyes.
Is that just for the hardcover?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Is the one guy with the antennae? Is that the dude that wants to sell Obi-Wan death sticks?
Same species. He's a Balasar.
Yeah.
And is this him rethinking his life?
No, it's not
Separate character. He's one of the best characters in the books, in the entire book. His name's slipping my mind, but everything about him was fantastic. A+. I think he's the best. He surpasses Ellen Sleaze-Abagano as the best Balasar in Star Wars for me.
Okay.
He was really fun character. And then finally, Liam, we've got
his name is Zebra.
That's right, Zebra.
Churdek.
Right, Zerbra. Yeah, and we've got Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader Japanese cover. Liam, thoughts? Is it better? Is it worse?
Also, I was gonna say I'm really sad that in the new ELC cover for Scoundrels, that after all this time, Crimson Jack still didn't get an appearance on the cover. It's another missed
Crimson Jack
opportunity.
in that book?
Yeah, we needed Crimson Jack on the cover of Scoundrels.
I'll make one.
We were joking about that a long time ago. Yeah.
Send that in the group chat if you do make it.
All right.
What
we know
about
that
the droid attack on the Wookiees?
Brady is obsessed with Crimson Jack. It's honestly unhealthy. It's starting to verge on Dave Filoni Ahsoka-ism.
It's
Brady.
all because of Skeleton Crew. It brought back.
I mean, Brady, I know you said you haven't read Scoundrels, but it's right up your alley being a Crimson Jack fan because it takes place right after the heist. So before Han takes out Crimson Jack, but after the heist where he steals his money.
Ooh. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, that's when it's set. Liam, any final thoughts on this Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader cover from Japan? Think it's better than
really
the
cool.
other ones?
It's definitely better. Still not a super big fan of the Darth Vader Photoshop job they got going on, but I think it's much better than the other two covers, though. I still like it.
And the image of Sheev is definitely a Sheev. Sorry,
yes,
he's not Sheev canonically in the EU. He's named Cosmo. Clearly, Cosmo Palpatine. That is a PNG of him from Revenge of the Sith from a promotional photo shoot, I think.
I didn't know if they designed it here and then they took it for that.
Oh, maybe.
But
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Interesting.
But yeah.
That's about all I have to say for that. This was really fun. Thanks for having me on.
Always great to have you on,
See you,
Liam.
man.
Yeah. I'll see you all later. This was fun talking.
See you later, man. Enjoy Malazan. I'm very excited for you to start that journey.
I'm excited. I'll talk to you guys about it sometime soon whenever I finish the first book. So see y'all later. Peace out.
I can't wait until you
May
get
the
to
Force
parts
be
of
with
Dead
you.
House Gate. It's gonna blow your mind, man. Yeah. See you later. Bye, Liam.
Take care, buddy.
All right, and I guess we'll go through the rest of the covers for us and then go through the comments. But Brady, any thoughts on the Brazilian cover? You think it would have made a better ELC?
I think it would. Just make a version of it and shrink it down. Honestly, about the same. I do like the I kind of like the ELC one. Like Marcel said, that it kind of resembles the poster and stuff. Maybe if the colors were a bit different, but honestly, Brazil covers are like the best covers next
especially
to
the Thrawn trilogy.
Yeah, just under like the Japanese ones.
Scott?
I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's anything special. Going back to the Japanese cover, though, the that one, Rise of Darth Vader, that isn't one of the best Japanese covers. The NJO covers are a lot better. I like that we have the Wookiees here. It gives us a little bit more, but it certainly isn't the greatest. The color contrast with the purple at the bottom and then the orange, I do like that. But Darth Vader, I think, just ruins it. That's just an awkward pose, an awkward position. I don't like it.
Yeah. Brady?
I'd say this is one of the weakest ones of the Japanese covers.
I think maybe the weakest. Yeah.
Yeah. Chewbacca, like, is he even in the book?
I don't think so. Is he?
I've not read it since I started.
I can't remember.
Like,
I don't
diving
remember
into the
Chewie being
EU.
in there.
Yeah, I don't think he's in there.
Okay.
He is in the book.
He is? Okay.
Oh, wait, he is?
Pretty sure.
Well, once I reread it, because I plan on reading or at least reading the audiobook for with the ELC coming out, which is honestly the only thing that's, I guess, exciting from anything Disney does. And we get a bad cover, but we get a great audiobook. So I'm looking forward to reading it or rereading it through an audiobook. But it looks honestly kind of photoshopped.
Mm. Yeah, Marcel?
It's my least favorite of the three. The
Brazilian
cover.
one? Yeah.
But it looks nice.
Yeah. They're all pretty decent, I'd say.
It has the best color scheme of the three. Take this color scheme, throw it on the ELC cover, maybe and they get Paul Ewell to draw in the style of the ELC cover, and you have like the perfect cover for a novel. Just like bring all three of them together.
Alex just commented in the private chat. He verified Chewie is in this book.
Okay.
I do not remember Chewie being in there.
Check Google. You can't believe Google.
Just real quick, going back to the Brazilian cover.
Oh yeah, sure.
Going back to the Brazilian cover, it reminds me of Honor Among Thieves more than anything.
Yeah, very much so.
Good observation.
The
How far
shading
apart
is
did they come out?
Dusty. It's hard to describe, but the shading's just it's very dusty and ashy.
Has like a gunslinger quality to it because it's dusty and ashy, and also he's kind of gripping his blaster.
Yeah, the Western vibe, right?
Yeah, Western.
It doesn't fit the vibe of the book at all.
We've got Lando's the good, Han is the bad, Chewie's the ugly. It's very Western.
Why is Chewie the ugly? Racist?
Well, Lando's not the ugly. Come on now. It's the best looking out of all three of them.
Lando's hot.
Han's a scruffy looking nerf herder.
Like Carrie Fisher's character falls in love with him. He can't be that bad looking.
Charm can get you a long way.
Carrie Fisher actually fell in love with him and did things.
I know she did.
Whoa, okay.
The information I wish I didn't know.
Marcel, thoughts on the Japanese cover?
Yeah, so I would say that I can't see anything past Vader's cod piece. Maybe come back.
That attention to detail right there. That is quite the crotch.
Well, look, this is the best cover we've seen today, hands down, just by default, because
every Japanese cover.
Nagano, right?
Yeah. The 501st looks dope there.
Vader looks the most real on this cover. Even like the side profile is just the incredible detail is the clones. I really like it. I agree. It's probably the weakest of the Nagano covers, but like that's like saying it's like the weakest of like Michelangelo's like works of art.
That's an idea for our next stream. Tier list the Nagano Japanese covers.
No, you can't do that. It's like all like S tier.
It would be
this might be like S minus tier.
It would be like splitting hairs.
I disagree. I think there are some that are clearly better than others.
Okay, fair enough.
I think there might be one or two like Bs. There might be one or two Bs, and that's it.
Yeah, but anything involving Mara Jade is like a peak cover.
Oh yeah. Okay. We'll have an S++, an S+, an S, an A, and a B, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is I would buy this book.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't even like clone troopers. I think they're
Me neither.
redundant.
Yeah. It's kind of in their nature, isn't it? Walrus Jedi. What do you think of the Brazilian cover and the full cover art?
I think they're both great. I like them both. It would be cool to own them physically.
Definitely. Yeah, I'd like to own all the foreign ones too. And what do you think about the Japanese one?
It looks cool, and it's way better than the American one.
Yeah. Anything specific you like about it so much?
Well, it's got more stuff on it that feels it feels a better representation of the book.
Mm. Yeah, that's definitely true. You got the Wookiees there, the 501st there, and anything specific that you like so much about the Brazilian one as well?
It's a cool Western vibe.
Definitely. If you had to rank the Scoundrels ones, where would you go to? What would you be your 1, 2, 3 of them, of these two plus the plus that ELC one?
Probably ELC bottom.
Yeah.
The paperback old cover next, then probably the hardcover, and then the Brazil cover.
The Brazil cover on top.
Yep.
Nice. I do like how he's framed in front of the Star Wars logo. Something about that feels in your face. That's quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that. Yeah. Alex, what about you? What do you think?
I feel the exact opposite when it comes to the Brazil cover because it looks so Western when it has zero anything to do with the book whatsoever. It doesn't fit the vibe. It doesn't, nothing about it explains to you what the book, you'd open the book and be like, oh, this is nothing like what I thought it was going to be, like other than the characters in it. So I think it's actually the worst cover out of all of them. I'd put the ELC cover as second and the original hardback cover at top for me personally. It's not a bad cover. It has nothing to do with the book whatsoever. As for it's the Japanese art. What else? It's kiss it, hug it. It's the best. It's
kiss
phenomenal.
it and hug it.
Yeah, it's great. I'd wrap it around myself in bed if I had it, like a poster of it.
You want a Japanese cover of Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader as a body pillow?
That's not what I said, like a blanket. But yeah, sure. I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet
Moving.
you will.
What I love about this cover also is that it just, again, everybody else said it shows more what the book's actually about. You know, and people were saying about Chewie, which I did confirm is actually Chewie, but even if it wasn't, it's a Wookiee, and Wookiees are a part of the plot because a big part of the plot is on Kashyyyk. So I don't think that's too left field. Like worst case scenario, they just used Chewie's design when they shouldn't have. But like it's still a Wookiee, so still gets the point across. The clones are a big part of it. One thing I wish would have been added to this cover to make
Look at
it
Alex saying all Wookiees look the same. Oh, one Wookiee's as good as the next, right?
Hey, listen, it's Brennan that
they're all walking. They're all
okay. So
they're all walking carpets. I'm with Leia. No, I'm just kidding.
But the only thing I think could have made this Japanese cover any better would be having some original EU characters,
Starstone or Iwakoka or Rowan Shrine.
Any of them. You know. If it was just one of them, I would have preferred it. But overall, it's still a phenomenal cover.
Yeah.
Real quick, shout out to Sam in the chat there. Throw his comment up, Brennan.
Oh yeah, I'll move through here.
What's up, Sam?
I'll get right to it. Sam, my brother, where is he at?
Second to last one.
What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, I've been missing you too, dude. It's been too long. It's been too long, man. Love you, bro. Hope you're doing good. There's been a lot more comments here. I'll try to flash quickly through a few of them here. This announcement that Marcel had right here really shocked me to my core. My goodness.
I'm disgusted.
That's just insane. Let's see. This book gives an amazing perspective on Vader's suffering. That's interesting. And this comment made me laugh. Vader's lightsaber on the ELC.
That's crazy.
He's not wrong.
I mean, doesn't he need it like all the time? It got
This is
burned.
inconsistent. Yeah. I hate the way the lightsabers looked in the Filoni Wars. They look like clubs in TCW, don't they? But then they look too thin in Rebels. You know, like maybe a middle ground. What do you guys think?
I agree. I mean, it's accurate to what it looked like in the concept art is always the defense, but there's a reason it's in concept art and not in practice.
Yeah.
So.
Any other thoughts on the discrepancy of lightsaber size? No.
I mean, it's well established how lightsabers are supposed to look. If you can't get it right now, there's something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
lightsabers are lightsabers, you know. Yeah. Zeno's an author you kind of have to warm to. His attention to detail is amazing, but also overwhelming. Hello, Kareem. Nice to see you. I don't know if you're still here. This guy's a big fan of the Leapfrog Clone Wars games. Owns all of the Inkstone hardcover releases so far. Love them all. Looking forward to this one. Nice. Usually, if you buy a prior Star Wars book on Inkstone, they send you the pre-order information on the next one. Yeah, I got the information on Kenobi. I didn't like the cover, so I didn't buy it. Now I kind of regret it. But hey, there you go.
I kind of regret not buying the Plagueis one, even though I own every version of Plagueis possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice. Didn't it have Plagueis himself like printed on the embossed in gold stamp foil on the book? It looked quite good. More comments on how great the Japanese ones are. Genuinely never read either of the Force Unleashed novels. Are either of them good? I think they're decent. What do you guys think?
The Force Unleashed novels.
Yeah,
I think they balance out Starkiller so much. There's a few things that I change, but yeah, I think he's not, Gary Stu as much as he is in the game. So,
yo, the man, this guy.
Whoa,
Been a long time since I've seen him. Hey, Slav.
So, going
Lance
back
is
to
here
the Force Unleashed novel, I think 2 is excellent. 1, it's kind of just difficult just because the game has so many levels and so many adventures that the book naturally has to cover. So it's just kind of meh. But the second one, I think, is really good.
Yeah, I think the first one's maybe a 5 of 10, and the second one was maybe 7 of 10. Somewhere like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Lance says hello to you, Scott. Well, he said that like an hour ago.
Good to see you too, Lance.
There is The Force Unleashed 3 that Hand of Thrawn 45 wrote. I haven't read it.
Has anyone read it?
A lot of people have. None of us.
Is
I
it?
don't know about
The Force Restored.
Yes,
is that right?
What it's called. Yeah, you are correct.
I don't love that they didn't just call it The Force Unleashed 3. Got to be honest. They had to get
just one
cutesy.
guy,
Yeah,
but he's the definitive guy. Apparently,
some people.
Yeah.
Toronto Rum has great hamburgers. How were they, Marcel? Did you get a double?
Marcel, you got to bring some back for the rest of us here.
I ate them all.
Oh,
All 473 of them.
Of course.
Wow. Of course he does.
He's on the Odin Jack challenge. If you don't
understand
that reference,
the Odin Jack challenge.
Yeah, if you don't understand the reference, check out the EU Wayback Machine today.
Yeah. 200,000 pizzas are eaten with 1 million more well on the way.
Wow.
Pizza the Hut.
Pizza.
What do we think? Is Sheev the first name of Palpatine in the EU? What do we think?
No.
Everyone can answer. No from Brady.
Absolutely not. Go
him.
read my comments. No, I
read your comment.
Yeah, I'm absolutely opposed to this.
Okay.
I mean, I'm with Marcel's comments, but to play devil's advocate, we have no confirmation. Well, that is a heavy.
We do have no confirmation. That's not playing devil's advocate. That's just stating a fact.
Well,
I'm just saying. So there's no way to say for certain it is his father's name, but that seems to be the case.
Well, no confirmation is no support. So we know what it is in canon, but in the EU we don't have anything. So no information.
So it could be
you can't say anything.
Yeah,
Well, it could be Bill. You don't know.
It could be Bill. You're right.
Could be Bill.
Someone
Bill
said that
Palpatine.
Marcel.
I didn't say this
Keep
was his
going.
name. I'm just saying what makes more sense.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree that
I
I
agree.
completely agree that this makes more sense than Sheev. But is Sheev more funny?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
I mean, I'd hate my name too if it was Sheev. So I
But-
mean,
We're basing this off of James
does make sense,
Lucino pieces, right? Like one of
Yeah.
it, like Marcel, your argument is based off of Darth Plagueis, while the Sheev is from Tarkin. Is that right? Is that when
Yeah.
it first shows up?
yes.
And so, has anyone asked him about that? Like,
I
if
don't
you
know.
named him here, why didn't you name him in your last book or something? I don't know.
He's here in the
But
flesh.
at the same time, if you
Andres.
read Darth Plagueis, even without asking him, it's heavily. I mean, he says he doesn't want to use his first name because he hates it, and the only thing we know he like hates more than anything else is his father.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It seems.
Who
to
do you
be
think
that's what he
hated
wants
their
about
Who
it.
do you think hated their family more, Bane or Palpatine?
Palpatine.
Yeah,
Palpatine because
probably.
he's evil.
Yeah.
And he had justified reasons to hate his father, but he's also just evil from the start, whereas Bane wasn't.
Crimson Jacked. I was just seeing I had a clone in the chat for a minute. Sam says he's been busy. You have a good night too, man. Stay safe. Hope to see you one of these days.
Kinda,
Surfer
sorta, maybe,
76.
say
It's
something.
Surfer Eddie. Howdy, brother. He says he's regretted not buying some of those Inkstone releases. Yeah. It's going well. Discussing some covers we don't like. It's been great. Grey
Good to
Jedi's
see
a
you,
fan
Eddie.
term as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
Right.
It's just no term for
Not
it.
EU or canon. Yeah, purely a fan term.
That's what we all think.
Always thought his name was Kasinga. Yeah, I think so. I've seen him
But
called
kinda, sorta,
Kasinga
maybe-
Sheev Palpatine before. Just put them all
Where's-
together in the blender.
Where are you getting
I
this
think-
from?
I think there is something from Fantasy Flight Games RPGs, even in the EU, like Force and Destiny, about Grey Jedi. So you
Oh,
can't
really?
choose that as your character. So there is some kind of lore
Some
established.
precedence there.
Yeah.
Is it
Okay.
is it like a morally gray Jedi? Is that
Mhm.
kind of what? Okay, because like
There are light side Sith.
right.
Marcel.
But
According
I've
to
seen a
Sword
lot. I've seen a lot of like fan written Gray Jedi codes or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that's very fan fiction. But
That's
like a
so fan
morally
fiction.
gray Jedi, like
morally Grey Jedi
We've already
exists in the
had
EU.
that. We
Quinlan Voss,
have
Jason
Quinlan Voss.
Solo, Qui-Gon Jinn, Siu Choi, Sorable. Like how? maybe
Anakin
not
is
Siu
a
Choi.
morally gray Jedi. Like
Whoa. But did he always? Was he always a morally Grey Jedi?
I don't know.
No, he turned to the dark side eventually. But
I'd say
Also-
I'd say you don't become a Jedi as soon as you start force choking your wife. That's where I draw the line.
We're right.
well, that happens.
Maybe
at the
whenever
end,
he
though,
was
before you start
knighted.
Vader.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I'll
That's
say
true.
for SWTOR, you mentioned light side Sith. My argument
do
would
exist.
be Sith is an ideology. So if someone's light side and on the Sith side, then they just need to change their religion
Well,
because
I
they're
would
clearly not
argue
following the
for.
faith.
I would argue the light side Sith are actually a really cool concept. So it's no secret that within the EU, being a Sith corrodes your body and your mind. For
Mhm.
example, this is why Palpatine, it's not just a force lightning. His eyes yellow, his nails yellow, his body withers. Being a Sith means that when you're calling upon the dark side of the force, it's literally draining your body. It's crippling you. And so light side Sith believe that if they want to attain power, they can utilize the full strength of the force, but if they don't use the dark side, they can live for longer and potentially last longer and not
There's
damage
logic
their
to
own
that.
bodies. So they can use the light side, which won't drain them, to accumulate power. I think that as a concept, it makes sense that some Sith would be like, hey, if we only draw on this side, we might be more powerful. I feel like it makes sense that some would try that. But for some people, that
So
whole idea just
selfishly
seems so
use the
opposed.
light side.
Yeah, which immediately becomes
I feel
how
like-
are you using the light side at that point?
Because like
right?
the
It's a
dark
dilemma.
side, using the dark side means using selfishness.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know quite how that would work.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
well,
only
the
because
Sith
when you
hated
play as
them.
a
The
Sith in the
The
game,
Sith
you can
murdered
make
all
good
the light side
decisions.
Sith. All the
So they
light
do
side Sith
exploration.
went extinct. The Sith had an assassin kill them all off.
So I'm rereading Vision of the Future right now, and there's this really like weird unhinged discussion between Luke and Mara where like Mara basically says like, oh, the reason why you're so out of character in the last like 10 years of books is because you dabbled in the dark side in Dark Empire. And then Luke is like, yeah, I guess you're right. And I guess the reason why, like, you know, you're not really like a dark sider because you didn't like do anything selfishly. Like even when you were serving Palpatine, you weren't doing it out of selfishness. And I was like,
I don't know if that
what
works.
is he talking about?
Well,
Yeah, I don't know if that works. 'Cause then I guess Jason was never.
there is a precedent, I think, for Sith not being super evil and the way they're depicted. Like if you think of Palpatine or something. So think back, for example, Golden Age of the Sith, Tales of the Jedi. I think it was Ludu Kesh or was it Negasato?
Yeah.
They captured Jory and Gav Daragon. But they didn't like. Yeah, they were trying to turn him to the dark side technically, but they were doing it kind of in a nice way. They weren't like super evil and conniving about it. So I don't know. There is a precedent to, I think, say that they can use certain elements, I guess, of the light side as well.
Marcel, I love it.
Crimson Jack, is he a pirate bodybuilder? He's not a professional bodybuilder.
Right? He looks like Dwalin in the Hobbit movie.
That was the first thing that popped up whenever I typed in strong space pirate in a Speedo and a red beard.
What's that? Did you send it to the Discord?
Yeah, I put it in a few of our chats because I noticed everyone's not in.
Yeah, let me screen share whatever this is. Is it safe for YouTube?
Yeah, I guess. You're on the risk.
Okay, we're about to see some hideous AI.
I'm so scared.
Yeah. All right, let's see what this is. Oh boy.
No, stop showing Luke.
Stop showing that profile picture, Brady. Stop reminding us of this past. I see a lot of Grey Jedi debates have continued to. Not the worm again. I see a lot of Grey Jedi debates have continued in the chat. Yeah, the Viking. Yep. I'm in the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake. You're right. I'm Hiccup's dad. Yeah. Sweet Home Tatooine. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And yeah, this point, all of these people became super pale because the dark side drained them. Right. So yeah. Let me check for this. Check for this image.
People are pale because of the dark side.
Super pale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not a healthy color.
It used to be red. No longer.
Yeah. And it also wrinkles, yellows the eyes, yellows the nails. Whole works.
What? All right, Marcel. My most infamous moment.
Was that you as a cat?
That's one of them. That's just me throwing the book.
Oh my word, Crimson Jacked. Should I screen share this or not? Shoot, I'm gonna do it.
So long as it's not a.
All right.
You know,
this is this is Brady's. This is Brady's AI.
Put as much effort into it as the ELC
artist did. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. This person brought up the Jar Jar Jargon's Heir to the Empire. Ironic that you should bring that up. We've been discussing that at length recently.
Let's watch it. Let's go.
Yeah, Scott's like, no, not a third time.
3 times.
But this is Crimson Jacked apparently, as he would have appeared in the Marvel run.
He's also going to have his own story exclusive to the Essential Legends collection, and this is the cover that they're working on.
Material?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Crimson gets jacked.
So thoughts on the Jar Jar Jargon's Heir to the Empire fan film? I wasn't feeling it too much, to be honest.
No.
I don't like anime. I thought the
Racist.
voice acting was a little weird in spots, and the AI was obvious in a couple spots. I didn't think it was bad per se. Far be it for me to rain on someone's parade if they want to adapt some EU material. Great. If it's good exposure, then awesome. But was it good exposure? Replacing Jorah Sabayoth with Mace was very questionable. Gives people the wrong idea. It was so Disney of them, right? Because isn't that what Disney does? Like they bring in a character you're familiar with to make you be like, oh, I remember this so and so. Yeah, member berries, nostalgia bait. I love the idea of Heir to the Empire as a 2D animation as well. Not okay with writing out Sabayoth. Absolutely not. And more like Crimson Chad. I don't know. I thought the fan film was interesting. If you want to see my genuine reaction to it, go to Fine Edition's channel and watch his stream. I think it's called Dave Filoni Sus or Savior. And he made me and Scott watch. He made me and Scott watch the fan film blind. So they got our live reaction to Mace Windu popping up.
And this was like at 3 a.m.
No, there he is behind Brady. Brady, why don't we watch it on your TV? It's beautiful.
Oh, okay. I don't want to get you copyrighted.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
no, I didn't mean the whole thing. I didn't mean the whole thing. Immediately goes to the start.
We'll just skip.
Yeah, skip to Wayland.
Yeah, skip to the mountain scene.
You turn it up.
You can't copyright AI. I love this comment. Yeah, so true.
No, he plays the main theme for Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Maybe the AI said it was an original.
Y'all hear that?
I can't hear it. Yeah.
Are you the guardian of the mountain?
I love that we're just watching Brady watch this.
Brady's like a teacher, like sitting on the side and see like pushes a TV in the middle of the room in the early 2000s. Like, watch this. Yeah.
It's like a wrestling promo where he's just watching.
Like a WWE
This is really good, guys. Pay attention now.
We've got a Fine Editions channel fan in the chat.
Well, at least he doesn't have pupils.
Yeah, I said the same thing, Marcel. I said the exact same thing.
I just want improvement.
Thrawn did look decent, I would say. Yeah.
He looked fine. Minus the haircut that he has from Rebels.
Yeah.
Because he should have like flowing hair.
That
he doesn't
Mace Windu inclusion is utterly bizarre. It's bizarre. I just can't rationalize it in my head.
It's complete and utter bizarre.
I said this exact thing. Rook looks like an elf. Rook looks like an elf for some reason.
He looks like Gollum from the original Hobbit cartoon.
Gollum mixed with a scroll from Marvel. Oh boy. Impeccable Gollum.
I think Rook looks like his Disney counterpart.
But is there one?
Oh, I guess his Rebels counterpart.
Oh, Rebels had Rook?
Yeah.
He did have Rook.
They killed him.
I think I forgot that. They killed Rook in Rebels?
Yeah.
Before he could ever get to like post Return of the Jedi?
They didn't want him to. They wanted to bring Thrawn back in Ahsoka, but not Rook.
It's not confirmed he's dead, but it certainly I think he fell out of a ship or something.
It'd be hilarious if he just shows up out of the blue, like they don't reference him for years. He just stabs Thrawn. Just like stabs him.
Guys, you thought I was dead.
If Mace Windu can survive a fall to wherever the depths of Coruscant is, then clearly Rook can survive falling out of a spaceship.
This guy up here is not Mace Windu. It's Mace Windu.
Oh, that is true. This is the other big question. Thoughts on Talon
Karate?
Yeah. Wait, can you play Talon Card's voice for Marcel? I don't think he's heard it.
I think I still got it up on here.
I like Talon Card's voice as done by Mark Thompson, where he's like, "Hello, my name is Talon Card."
You're in for
like a Spanish trill for it.
You're in for a treat then, Marcel, and hearing what they did in the anime fan film.
Like voice for
Do we want to pull it up on YouTube real quick, Brady?
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. We have it going in multiple streams. How much ad revenue have we made for this guy, Brady?
So much.
We reacted to it on your channel, me and Scott with you. We made Alex and Al watch it on the Wayback Machine.
I think we
now
did that
we're-
off screen.
now we're making Walrus Jedi and Marcel watch it too.
Just
This
makes
is
us all
bonus
stronger.
content because this episode was just supposed to be ELC covers. So
Yeah, that
there's-
is true. This is bonus material. After this,
Yeah.
we're getting our Chubbies out of here. But yeah, Marcel, take a listen. Wait, can you turn your camera on? I want to see your reaction.
Yes,
I want to
please.
see your reaction to this one, to this voice.
and to the stash.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we'll get
that
we'll-
too. We'll get there. We'll get there.
It's gonna be like Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert,
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Iago.
Mara, come in, please. Have a seat.
So, what's this about, Card?
This is merely a business meeting. I want to discuss your promotion.
What is wrong with that? This is the most
I've only
amazing
been with the
talent
group
card.
for 6 months.
Time has never been as important as ability and
This is Master
results.
Roshi.
I think he
Oh,
kind of
goodness.
sounds like Zelensky.
I don't believe in luck. And
played
that is
by-
why you're
Honestly,
going to be
I don't
my
hate the
second.
character designs.
If
They're
you
like
give me that much
pretty
This is
nice.
fine.
Like for an
No, you're
anime,
not.
like an
It's
not
anime
bad.
version.
First of all, I'm in love with this voice. Okay.
Star Destroyer in orbit.
It's
believe it to
so
be the Chimera.
distinct.
Give me a hailing.
Yes, sir.
Coming through on screen now.
Look at that.
Imperial Star Destroyer Chimera. I am Talon Card. How may I be of assistance?
This is Captain Pelion. We are in no need of
That's fine.
assistance. We are only here to collect some specimens from.
Who was it?
forest.
Was it Al or
I
Robert
think
who
you
pointed out
and
the
Brandon
Imperial
Voltron will
Sig-
find collecting Islam
Sigma-
very difficult.
How does Captain Pelion eat soup?
Ah, yes. I know of the Grand
He drips
Allow me to
it. He
assist
dips it in
assistance
it and then
on
lets
way.
it drip in his mouth.
Free of charge.
Your generosity.
He uses
will
the
be
mustache
remembered.
like bread for just dipping
We're
into the
going
soup.
after Skywalker.
This is
It's
horrible.
Puss in Boots from Shrek 2.
Heir to the Empire, the anime. It's like why everybody's just doing like Heir to the Empire fan films. Like I want someone to do like the Crystal Star fan film.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Where is it? Where
We
is it?
need Kingdom of
This is
Ice
nonsense.
fan fiction.
Can you show
or
can you
fan
show
film.
Marcel how the AI demonstrates itself by Han looks a bit like Alden Einrich instead of Harrison Ford?
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
And
Brennan,
that's-
was it you who did the Waru voice?
Oh
thing?
yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
the closest
did.
thing we've gotten to a proper audio.
Remember,
this have
I
something to do with
contacted
the
like
Who is this
5 or 6
beefcake?
people.
ongoing fight with the Empire.
This is Ghent. This is
He's-
Ghent, isn't it?
It's
Oh,
Yu-Gi. It's
Aves.
Yu-Gi-Oh Gent. It's
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh Gent.
It's supposed to be Aves.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
of
Ace.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jason Solo?
Why does
Well,
Han
okay.
look younger here than he does in like the movies?
The original trilogy.
Anime.
It's so Alden Enrich. Yeah.
Carbon freezing.
He looks more like
Disease.
Jason.
Who's
Oh my
this?
god,
That's
is that
Luke.
Leia?
The baby face is doing him no favors.
Hello, Luke. It's been a while.
Yes. And my time with you.
Can we pause it for a
Coming to
second?
an end.
It should have been like "Hello, Luke," and then like you have like the flash, and he's like, like the anime, like Nani.
So it's like Akira. No,
Yeah.
leave me
Anakin
alone.
shows up. Ani.
Shows up behind him. Omae wa mo shinderu. Just like stabs him. In
we
the
already
back.
went over 707 Fizzy in the chat. We we believe you that we saw we saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we saw that.
We
I'm
saw
telling
Mace Windu.
God.
Honestly,
Hello.
that is
Do that
Mace
again,
Windu
Marcel.
is my biggest issue with this.
Marcel, I
Like,
want to hear that Talon card in a
I'm
future.
Talon Card. It's me, Mara.
Now when
Get Captain
Wait a minute,
Pelion
did
on
you
the
voice it?
system.
now when Marcel does the short stories that include like Mara Jade and Talon Card, he has to do that voice now.
I'm Talon Card.
In 2066, we've got to hear that. Missed the cover comparison, but old covers for the win. Definitely agreed. There's just so much soul and identity in them. All the new covers look washed out and AI generated. So I guess as we wrap up, why don't we say one more piece on the original topic? Do you guys see a way forward? Could the ELC covers be better? And what would you do to make them better? and what books would you like to see that aren't what waves 13 and 14 are going to be? We can start with Marcel and make our way along. Yeah.
Have you heard of my associate, George Cardas? He's not been seen for years.
This comment's great. Alex can be the voice of Zane. Marcel is the voice of Talon.
I already am.
Yeah.
Can't wait. What were your questions again?
Oh, sorry. What would you do to improve the art for the ELC covers? And what would you like to see in the ELC? What would you do to redeem the Essential Legends collection?
I would give the art to my 6-year-old, and I would say, draw this, but better. I'm kidding. What would I do to improve the art of the ELC covers? I would get someone who's read the book. You just go on Reddit. You can find like 1,000 people who have read that book. And I would say, or I'd go on Wikipedia, even like read a plot synopsis, and I would draw a scene from that book. I would AI generate a scene from that book, and I would slap that on the cover, and they would be better than what we've gotten so far. That's what I would do.
If it was new art depicting scenes from the books, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. You can pick a scene with like a legacy character so that it sells, whatever. Right? Yeah. Vader fighting a random Jedi is going to sell.
Yeah.
Because it has Vader on it.
Definitely. 100% concurred. Any titles that you would want to see that could redeem it, or do you think it's past that point?
They won't do NJO at this point, so I'm not even going to add NJO in there. I just don't see them doing it. What would redeem it is maybe, and it's not even really one of my favorite books, but Truce of Bakura, I think, needs to be on there.
Definitely. Do we think they'll do the rest of X-Wing through to Mercy Kill?
Ooh.
Starfighters of Adumar would be great if they did that.
They only have the first 6, is that right?
No, they did up to Solo Command.
Okay, gotcha.
So they just have 2 more or 3 more?
2 more.
2 more.
Well, 3 more if you count Mercy Kill.
3 with Mercy Kill. Yeah. Walrus Jedi, what would you do to improve the art, or what would you want to see in the series? What title to make it better?
Probably Shadows of the Empire. Would be a good choice.
That is a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're hopefully getting that in Wave 13. It sounds like, which should be good. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in regards to the art, is there any points that you'd want to see for improvement?
Get people to do it that have read the book so they know, and create cool scenes from the books.
Yeah, seems simple enough, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a task that it's amazing that they're bungling. Alex, what do you think?
Well, you say it's simple, and yet it's consistently not done right. So maybe there's a legitimate reason, or maybe it's just laziness. Maybe they simply just don't care, and this is simply a cash grab. That would be my bet. But, it is interesting that they refuse to give us more stories. So you would think the least they can do is give us some cool new covers for books that we've paid for. Some of us have multiple copies, i.e. Brennan does, because he has everything known to man.
I don't even own a copy of Revan in paperback. I don't own a copy of it. No, or Annihilation. I don't own everything. No.
You should. All right. Well, anyway, play big.
What do you mean I should? What do you mean I should? I mean, I do have.
You're the guy. You're the one with like 8 copies of Split of the Mind's Eye. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
7, but I wish I had
I was
8.
close. I was close.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm point big. Like, we say these things like it should be simple. We've also explained multiple times why the EU continuing is easy money, and yet they never do it. So having some EU characters on the cover would be enticing for someone who's already owned this book to go and buy it again, because it would be something new, something fresh, and would actually provide characters that we love that aren't.
That would really get
films to get some love. That would make me want to buy all of them if that was what was the case, but it's not.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys have already said it, and Scott will say it. Brady will say it, you will say it, the things that could be done to be better. But end of the day, they're not listening to us. So, it is what it is.
Dang, that was
I agree.
That was cynical, but so true. You're so spot on.
Sorry. So I agree with Marcel.
That was a splash of cold water.
But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's late and I'm tired.
What about titles?
Titles?
Any titles you'd specifically like to see? Stuff they haven't done yet?
If they were to actually do stuff, I mean, I would like. Go back
Bounty
to
Hunter
other
Wars?
people. No, God no. Keep that away. I mean, they'll never do it. You want to talk about Essential? Give us some New Jedi Order. That's what I would love to see. Give us Crystal Star, Jedi Academy trilogy. I mean, you talk about a different timeline. I mean, here's Luke training Jedi. Like, give me that. Give me Exar Kun on the cover of the book, and not just have it be like this sort of like, I don't know, like a hooded figure in one of them. I don't know. Like, give us like a proper Exar Kun in a cover. I think that'd be great. I'm trying to think. I don't want to take up too much time, so I can name off a bunch, but NGO would be the number one for me, but they'll never do it. So
yeah, definitely. Scott, the one with only 2 T's.
Right. At this point, I think I'm completely black-pilled on the whole ELC concept and the fact that they're changing the cover art. It's not very good. I understand they're changing the book format, that the mass market paperback is going away and it's being replaced by the trade paperback, which is more expensive. I get it at this point. But they've messed up so bad on the covers. At this point, going forward, I would just leave the original covers intact. They're more iconic. They're what I remember as a fan. I think in large part they're better. You could change up the branding to where the spines line up and it's all symmetric, but just leave the original cover art, right? And don't. Some of the mass market paperbacks with the Legends banner were kind of like washed out, and they weren't like the original quality. Just get the original cover art. I know they have the files somewhere. Just put your heart into it. Put some effort into it. Make it look good. These things will sell. They're good stories.
I think, for example, the colors are not what they were on the original one.
Right. And the glue on those mass market paperbacks are not very good anymore. They're like half-assed in a lot of cases. I just think they need to put a lot better effort into it overall, and they'll sell. They'll sell perfectly. I think there's always going to be a market for it. As far as titles, I think they changed around Wave 13 and Wave 14, but there was talk Rogue Planet is coming. So if they release Rogue Planet, I'm sure New Jedi Order is next. It only makes sense because Rogue Planet naturally leads up to the Yuuzhan Vong invasion, and I think they will put out that series. I think they're going to do Legacy of the Force, Fate of the Jedi. I think we'll eventually get those. So I don't think you need to worry about anything falling out of print as far as a major mainline adult novel.
Ruins of Dantooine might.
They'll get there eventually. Ruins of Dantooine, we make fun of that a lot, but in a lot of cases that original cover is kind of the same as The Force Unleashed, although it's from a different era, right? It's from an era where video game graphics advanced by the time Force Unleashed came out, right? Even though that was a long time ago now. But like LucasArts just came out with that cover, and that's what they developed. So again, it goes back to like the effort they're trying to put into these covers and how they're presented and how they're marketed. I think if they do what they're supposed to do and put out a quality product, these things will sell. They just, again, need to put the effort forth and just stick with the original cover art at this point. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Just change up the format, put out the trade paperbacks, and then do it in a way so that we get the books we expect. So Shadows of the Empire, I think, definitely needs to be it needs to be one of the next few titles that come out, because that's so iconic, that established a lot of things for the EU going forward. That was one of the first books I read. I agree with Marcel about I have a clone too here on the stream. I agree with Marcel on the Truce at Bakura. I think that's definitely you definitely need to put that out soon. And then things like Rogue Planet, I think will just naturally lead to New Jedi Order, and
Definitely.
that'll work out well. So you don't need to do anything crazy. Just keep doing what they were always doing with the EU to make it successful, and it'll sell.
Yeah. Brady?
You guys might hate this, but I feel like they might be holding on to New Jedi Order for when the new Rey movie titled New Jedi Order comes out, so that they can just throw it out.
I think you might be right.
Not that I think that movie's going to be made, but anyway, whatever with that. But how I would change the art, if I was put in charge of it, is I would I don't know who comes up with the art or whatever for the book covers. But I would pick up this book and literally go to any book. Let's just say a book that I'd love to see is the Jedi Academy trilogy. And there are already 2 wonderful pictures. There's I think it's Jason. Or is it Danik?
That's Jason. Yeah.
Jason fighting off Luke Skywalker with R2 on it. That would be great. And then the next one would be, Kip Duran with the Sun Crusher.
Yeah,
boy,
definitely.
Oh,
but then they'd have to pay royalties to the artist. Do they want to do that?
I don't know. It depends on how the commission works.
Does a multi-billion-dollar company have the ability and the means to pay for that?
Yeah, they could throw out a few shekels in royalties to pay the artist what they created, right?
Right. Yeah.
Jeez.
Planet of Twilight. Let's go.
I would love
this
to see
cover.
that. Yeah. Even Lost Tribe of the Sith. Lost Tribe of the Sith would be cool with that.
That would sell.
Thing. Yeah.
But you just pull up anything. I know it would be hard to do it, but someone said omnibus.
Yeah, a lot of the people in the comments are suggesting like Junior Jedi Knights, Galaxy Fear, all of those all the young readers novels need to be put in omnibus. I just wish we knew who had the rights to those so that we could get those reprinted.
I wish they would just do it so then they could be Scholastic or whoever could go, hey, actually that's ours, and they just shovel them money. Like,
yeah,
I think I think we can predict that there's going to be probably Spectre of the Past and Vision of the Future at one point.
I was about to say that. Do you think so?
I'm surprised it hasn't been made.
Yeah, those are thick books.
Well, actually, yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe because Vision of the Future is so big, it's like, oh, let's save on production costs by doing
2 parts.
Oh wow,
choices of one. I was going to say. We haven't done Allegiance, but let's do choices of one.
I wonder if they look at
Allegiance was 5 more pages, and they were like, "We can't produce this. That's too expensive."
One of the things that I'll say it again that I love and that they actually listen to fans about is the audiobooks. And so I know Allegiance already has an audiobook, and so I wonder if their thing is like, okay, which one can we do an audiobook for?
But they're not even being consistent about the audiobooks. Like they didn't do it for
some
the
don't get it.
Orlando Adventures.
Right.
I was so disappointed about that because I know some people have been clamoring for those.
Right.
Because those were during the era where they did like abridged ones.
The old Han Solo books, they didn't make any audiobooks for.
Oh, right. There you go.
Yeah.
And the Lando one. But yeah. Oh, another thing, the Han Solo trilogy by A.C. Crispin. I'm surprised that one's not out yet.
It's not really essential though for even like I would say the Lando books are essential because they're essential to Lando, and if they do that, they probably have to do the Han books as well. They're not going to do the Han Crispin trilogy because it would mean 3 books as opposed to like a 3-in-1 they could get away with.
I'm sure they'll probably start doing these small, these trilogies.
I don't think they're going to do
era.
Do you think they'll do Black Fleet and Corellian trilogy?
No, I think the most shocking that we haven't seen is Truce at Bakura and the Jedi Academy trilogy, hands down.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I would say Shadows of the Empire up until it was recently announced.
And Hand of Thrawn as well is pretty surprising.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised. I know that
I'm surprised we haven't seen Red Harvest yet. Sorry. They printed the other 2 Joe Schreiber ones. and they could
They
have
can't
printed
they
it.
can't put a
Is it really
dead
essential?
stormtrooper on it, so it's
Did
Well,
it's not,
they did bolt?
A dead
Did they
Sith
do?
would sell, wouldn't it?
yeah, but
Did
like
they do
no one would, it'd be
lockdown?
like it's just a zombie dude. Like they could
Yeah.
do like a Darth Maul or something. And
Did they
That's
do
true.
lockdown?
They did Maul Lock. No, they didn't.
They did Shadowhunter.
They did
Shadowhunter.
Shadowhunter.
Michael Reeves.
Shadowhunter is goated though. That's like one of the best books.
They did
Mhm.
Death
It
Troopers,
is.
but I'm surprised they didn't do Red Harvest because they did Knight Errant and they did SWOTOR, and they
I
put
know.
the
I don't
old.
get Knight Errant. Isn't
they put-
essential.
Not
No.
to me, but they put the Old Republic on Knight Errant, which I thought was interesting. They put the Old Republic colon Knight Errant, which they did with all the Old Republic books. So why didn't they do the same with Red Harvest? I'm
I don't know.
confused by that.
Because that's the only book from the Old Republic era that they have that doesn't have an ELC.
Yeah, it's the
That I
only
can
one.
think of.
And Lost Tribe of the Sith. Do you think they do that? Like, I don't know.
Oh, that was going to be another thing. I would love for them to reprint the Tales stories, which we've
Oh,
got the Kevin J. Anderson ones. We have the ones
can't
from
wait
the
for the-
RPGs.
Yep. I can't
then
wait for the DLC of Tales from the Boon to Eve Classic. I can't wait for that.
they haven't reprinted any Kevin J. Anderson book
Yeah, it's
No.
telling.
or anything
It's
that he's
telling.
worked on in the
The
ELCs.
Tale series definitely should have been at least.
Yeah.
I think those.
It's
are
definitely
essential.
telling. There's
Because like
something there.
arguably Darksaber is more it's definitely more essential than like Scoundrels Choices of One. Like to the EU, it's a pivotal book.
I've been
regardless of
curious
what you
about
think of it.
Coruscant
I think
Knights.
those are-
'Cause they have
it-
printed some of Reeves.
Yeah, they're going to come out with everything. Everything's
Yeah.
going
You
to be
think so?
reprinted.
Every
Yeah,
single book.
Nothing's
that's
going to fall out of
optimistic.
print.
I don't.
Heart of the Jedi ELC.
That's
Well,
what I was just going to say. Right here.
I've said this from the very beginning when we thought there were just going to be like 3 or 4 waves. I said they're going to have to reprint everything because they're changing formats. That's what this is. It's a change of formats, and they're rebranding it. They're calling it Essential Legends, which I think is deceptive because it's not really the essential reads. It's not the books that we would think of to recommend to a new reader who's never read the expanded universe. But we're looking at it. We're looking at it in a way that it's not really designed to be looked at. So I think you don't worry, everything will stay in print.
Yeah.
Except the young readers.
They might.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But
Well,
those have been out of print since
Yeah.
they came out. Like,
Yeah, right.
I know this doesn't really matter to anything, but the new format of paperbacks are more expensive.
Yes, that's true.
Which makes things difficult for initiatives like the Twin Sons Foundation when they're trying to raise
Unfortunately.
money for books. They have to raise more money to purchase more expensive books as opposed to the mass market paperbacks. And I just
Plus-
think that kind of sucks. That's all. I just throw it out.
100% agreed. And the mass market paperbacks are also more economic for transport. They're smaller, more compact. You could fit more in, especially if it's like something like if Twin Sons was shipping these books. If you can save space, that's going to be important for shipping costs as well.
Totally.
And in regards to this comment that I've had highlighted for a while, bring Jan Dursema to make Essential Legends collection covers. The bare minimum is to hire good artists. Like maybe some of these artists have been good, but it doesn't feel like there's any soul in it. It doesn't feel like there's any heart in it.
They don't hire good artists to do their own canon stuff. So
That is true.
No.
Yeah. I just wish they'd try. I guess that's what I'm saying. I wish they tried. These are IKEA shelves, and this is funny to think about all the subtitles here. Star Wars Essential Legends Collection, New Jedi Order,
Book
Vector
1.
Prime, or you could take it a step further. Agents of Chaos, Hero's Trial.
Wait,
know?
Essential Legends Collection, New Jedi Order, Vector Prime by Michael A. Stackpole. That's what it's gonna read. I swear. I know it's not by Stackpole.
Yeah.
But that's what it's gonna read.
Yeah.
The books I would love for
We
them
should
to
run
do
Del
in
Rey, guys.
DLC is the TCW tie-in novels.
Oh yeah.
No Prisoners and
No
Well,
prisoners.
those books were never printed in a way where
they
they
actually they were
the same
printed in
price.
mass
mass
market.
market paperback. No, they
Or
were they?
no, they were printed in the new format.
Yeah. like Clone Wars Gambit, for example. They
Yeah.
never were printed in the mass market paperback size. That frustrates me as someone who wants to have all the books in the same size. Still waiting for the Supernatural Encounters mass market paperbacks. I just want all my books to be the same size, you know.
What would
that's
there be,
my
like 6
OCD, I
volumes
guess.
of that?
8
Yeah,
volumes, yeah.
8 volumes?
Yeah,
Probably. The
'Cause
book
the-
that you had was The Essential Reader's Companion. It's by Pablo Hidalgo. Well worth picking up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you can find one.
And KJ gets no respect in ELC.
Nope.
Seems to be the case.
Did they reprint any? Well, okay, they
That's
did
a
Tales of the
threat.
Jedi, but any of
Don't
his
say that.
comics, other comics? Like, did
Did
they
they-
do Jedi Academy Leviathan?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was reprinted in all the comics were reprinted.
All
in
the
these,
comics got
in the,
reprinted,
Epic
except
collections.
the Digest comics. Novellas
Digest comics, yeah,
that are
didn't-
Clone Wars. That also applies to the Adventures series, which were also Digest comics. And then Evasive Action and the web comics weren't reprinted either.
Evasive Action was web comics, though, was
Yeah,
it not?
that's- yeah,
the
that's right.
Digest.
Were Adventures actually reprinted? I didn't
not
think they
sure.
were. I didn't think so, but maybe they were.
No, they weren't.
They weren't. Okay.
I like
But
this
the- but-
comment.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to
I
say
mean,
though,
they were in the Dark Horse Omnibus. I'm sorry. But
Yes,
not
the-
in the-
the Adventures had that the white Dark Horse omnibus. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we want our books in print, Del Rey. So I guess that is true. We want more readers. We want these stories to remain around in circulation. Give us some short story collections. That's what I think.
Give us a book about Ray.
Who? Manta Ray? Who is this?
Revenge of the
Tampa
Sith?
Bay Rays.
I was going
Make
to see where you
Ray
guys went with
EU?
that one.
Oh, I get what Marcel was saying.
Ray
He wants more
Jedi?
Del Rey books to be released.
EU
reprinted.
books. I like it.
Yeah. Good idea. Good idea. Yeah.
Thank you, Marcel.
I just thought about this. They did reprint the AC Crispin books in a
Barnes
new
and Noble
format.
one.
That's
Barnes and Noble
true.
one.
They reprinted it as Barnes and Noble. That's a good point, Brady.
But
Yeah.
I don't think that was Del Rey.
Oh, was it not? Okay.
I think it was Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and
It was
Noble
like- it was an
reprinted Jedi.
exclusive.
Yeah, Jedi Prince. The only Young Readers novels that were ever reprinted was Jedi Prince by Barnes and Noble. Why don't they just do that for? I wish they could just do that for Young Jedi Knights, Jedi Apprentice, Galaxy of Fear. Yeah, there you have them.
Oh,
right
yours
there.
are in much
yeah.
better condition than mine.
Dark readings.
I found
I don't
these
know where mine is.
at my used bookstore, and like I already had copies. I was gonna get them signed at
There were paperbacks of the Young Jedi Knights, Jedi Sunrise, and Jedi
I have
Shadow,
them.
That's true.
Yeah, I
That's
have
true.
them.
Yeah.
which are basically the first 6 of the 14 Young Jedi
Yeah.
Knights books.
And hardcover. Those had hardcover volumes as well.
I have the paperback versions. I found them at at a used bookstore for like a couple bucks each.
I never saw
Are there-
hardcover except for the Sci-Fi Book Club versions.
Yeah, sorry, the Sci-Fi Book Club versions were the hardcovers I was referring to.
Yeah.
As far as it was called Jedi Sunrise and Under a
No,
Black
no,
Sun
no.
and
No,
Jedi
no.
Sunset.
Jedi Sunset.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
those
really cool.
those came out after Young Jedi Knights was out of print. So
That's nice.
came out around 2002, I would
Okay.
say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So about the time that they were reprinting the Han Solo trilogy, Brian Daly's one with the classic run, and Splinter of the Mind's Eye was reprinted in 2001, 2002 with the Lucas Books logo right around that time.
Why haven't they done Splinter of the Mind's Eye yet?
In ELC. Oh, that's so true.
I know that they'd have to probably put it together with something else.
Do you think it's because of that controversy where they weren't paying Alan Dean Foster?
Probably. But if they put that together with Ruins of Dantooine, they could get by without making a new cover for that.
That would make
wow.
sense, actually.
Because it's a
Yeah.
smaller book.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. I was just thinking about oh shoot, what was I thinking about? I was thinking about Young Jedi Knights. I was going to say something about that, but yeah. I mean, we'd like to see all of these things republished at some point. It would be really, really nice. And if they had nice covers, that would just be a bonus, you know. And these covers are seemingly not the ones that we have right now. So yeah, I think we've thoroughly covered the ELC covers and beyond, with several voyages off into the woods. So yeah, I think we'll see you guys next time. It's starting to get late. Thank you guys for coming on. Really appreciate you guys. We'll reconvene for waves 13 and 14 in the future. If wave 13 is only 2 books, I say we do waves 13 and 14 together, which might require waiting a little longer, but then we can do all 5 at the same time. So yeah. I think that would be good.
I do want to make a comment about Skywalker 1 in the comments. Next topic, show how you organize your collection. I did that once, and then I got a bunch of racists and like people commenting on my stream.
Hey, I was commenting on that stream.
Oh, I mean, and
yeah, I was too. I was too. I was too. Wait, what are you calling me, Brady?
Nah, I wasn't talking about you guys.
Okay.
Bunch of pervs too. But,
yeah, that's me and Marcel, all right.
Yep. No.
Speak for yourself.
Makes sense.
Yeah, just kidding. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. It's like the Avengers assembling. Wow. Well, that's a nice thing to hear. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time for waves 13 and 14 when we get to the truly essential books. Like
thank you for joining us on this stream.
Sound like Watto.
Come to next one.